What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to tradertv.live. Futures back in positive territory as the NQ tries to break through that critical 17,100 level. Lots to talk about today. A new redesign for the Model Y on Tesla coming up possibly and in the Shanghai facility. Apple also appealing the IOTC's decision to prevent its sale of the Apple Watch. Coinbase and Morrow both headed to the high side as crypto gaps up again overnight, and Meta getting a nice price target upgrade. It is Wednesday, December 27th, 2023. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, holding that overnight resistance is the NQ and just gapping up now above that 17,100 mark. Should also be noted the ES is awfully close to making all-time highs. I'm not talking about the futures contract. I'm talking about the index itself. We were just looking at that off camera, very, very close. So keep your eye on that. And like I said, Bitcoin gapping up as well, 2% to the good right now, knocking on the door of that $43,000 mark. Guys, good morning.
Good morning. Everything is up. Well, not everything is up, but it feels like the rising tide is lifting a lot of ships today. There was one point, what was that?
I got some makeup on my shirt here.
I was going to say, I'm like, dust them shoulders off. The market's been dusting the shoulders off as everything is continuing to look strong. Look, whether or not we actually break through this futures levels on the ES, like the NASDAQ has already claimed tops and has been continuing to go. You saw runs in AMD yesterday, which was pretty impressive. You've got another gap up in some of the crypto names. I don't think necessarily all of them. Heck, when bets is at 1.5 cents, things have been going well in this little bit of a Santa Claus rally. So there's plenty to watch. Trading is key levels to look at. It's just not necessarily about the big, gigantic catalysts this week. So we do have a little something with Tesla, nice revamp. We'll have a little bit of that talking about. I know exactly where I wanted to get to. I don't want to forget about Snowflake. I'm just going to throw that one out there. I'm going to put it right out there from the get-go, because Snowflake and C3AI had ridiculous moves in the afternoon, and people have talked about the AI bubble and all this other good stuff. If you saw what happened in the chip names and in Snow and in AI, there are still some buyers left. So I want to look at that $200 level on Snowflake. It's about key price levels and trend. That's what this week has been about. That's what was successful yesterday. Trend up in Intel, key price levels on things like Rivian and Coinbase. But I think a key price on Snowflake in tow at the $200 level. I knew this morning when I was doing my notes and I was going through all my stocks, I'm like, I'm forgetting something big. I didn't even have it on my iPad. But whatever that $4 move was in the afternoon on Snowflake, got to be on watch today.
Yeah, we'll watch out for some Snowflake. We traded Palantir. We actually traded to the short side, but it didn't have the same kind of a move. Look at Coinbase. Yesterday we had this 178 short. And welcome to the show, by the way, everybody. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe as we're ready to rock and roll here once again on day after Boxing Day. So hopefully everyone in the United States, maybe you're back to work, maybe you're not. I mean, this is a pretty light week, but not light if you are in Coinbase. I sold HUD 8. It's like $2 or $3 higher than where I sold it from. I got out of some Coinbase as well, as that just keeps on making new highs. So I'm working, the sticky note's done. I just got to get it out into the universe here. I think 180 break long on Coinbase, honestly. Like a Bitcoin right now is 42. We just talked about it's 43,000. It's bumping its head up against it. So I always need this to refresh itself here. So there we go. Let's go to a 5-minute chart here just so we can have a look at what Coinbase is or what Bitcoin's doing. So we've already broken higher, right? We got to 43.2. And then as Sharif mentioned, now we're trying to get back above 43. But it's been a nice little move. We did resist 45. So that's, as high as we got, I guess, was 44.250, something like that. A nice little move back down and then a nice little bump back up. So Bitcoin definitely cooking right now. Ethereum as well. You can look at GBTC, ETHE on that side of things. But I like it. Coinbase, I like it through 180. I think it can get going. And then, wow, like you know, Mara, Riot, BTBT, some of these other names are all going to be on our watches.tradertv.live. You can go figure that out as well. But look at Mara. I mean, what an absolute monster as this U.S. cryptocurrency miner just continues to run, man. 24% short, continuing going up. Like, we started trading this. I remember when I think we had this break, I believe last week, and it was like, wow, it just broke 20 and it just kept on going up. And then I think we had something in and around 24, kept going up. And I remember even getting stopped out one day as it dipped in and then just ripped the rest of the day. So this is probably going to be something to look at. And if you are going to look at any sort of a level, I mean, yesterday's close, if you go long now, you can hold it worth $1. I think you could probably see $30 at some point here today on Mara. So yeah, up 28, 29, probably well worth it. This is what we're sort of zooming. Yeah, I keep forgetting about how high some of these names got to. It's up here, right? So here's 31, 32 is kind of, that's March of 2022. So you're going back a while before you got to that level. But as you know, what goes up can easily come back in as well. So I think crypto is changing now. I think there's more people trusting it as potentially, I mean, it's something like 78% or something of all the Bitcoin wallets haven't even been touched in years. So it's like they're just holding it. And if people aren't going to be rotating out of Bitcoin, then all these ETFs are just going to have to buy Bitcoin. And at some point, there's going to be lack of Bitcoin. So, you know, whatever you're holding right now is probably going to be at a premium if these ETFs all get approved, which it looks like that's what is happening. So that's what's sort of sparking the rally here, whether or not you believe in the longevity of Bitcoin or not. I mean, it's really moving, and you know, you've been really rewarded since, I mean, it's up, well, it was 16,000 at this time last year. So
yeah,
it's up before, yeah. So now 200%, something like that. So it's a really nice move up there. Going long on SoFi today. Let me just check out SoFi.
$10 right now on the offer.
Is it? That was the key. So I was going to see where we were. We had my best trade, I think, of the month, I think, was when we hit this long break right here, SoFi through 920. That was an incredible break. And it went up to 980 or almost up to $10 even that day. I can see the wick rate here myself. That's the day right there. Yeah, wow, that's a good memory. 985. Okay, sometimes you zoom in and you're right. But look, we haven't really broken it. The only thing was, I want to show everybody, as we all know, it did break it at one point up to 1016, 1020. I'm almost thinking like this up here. Shockwave and whoever mentioned that, thanks for bringing it to our attention, of course. Like Neil said, like Snowflake, you mean to trade it. You know, SoFi, you mean to trade it. Like, but unless we get it to our attention, and another name is going to be Nvidia, which is at $500 as well. So I'm looking at this level. That's actually 1030 on SoFi. I prefer that break because 10's breaking now. 10 will break, right? I mean, it's probably already, no, it actually hasn't. I was gonna say probably already broken this morning, but it's going to break. That's not enough size, right? So 1030, I like that break on SoFi. But yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but Nvidia there again.
Nvidia, man.
Is right at 495.
All roads lead to 500.
Yeah, this is basically where I sold it. And it's just like, it's not a day if you don't mention Roblox, says Hamster One. Well, there we go, Hamster One. It's now a day. I didn't have Roblox on my mind, but $47. All right, that's where we closed yesterday. It looks like that's going to be a good little break level as well. So there you go, Hamster.
47.75 in April was kind of like this high here.
Yeah, we were running into 48. Yeah, that's yesterday. I was like, oh, I want to go long 46, but watch out for 48.
So I think that's the next stop, and you're like $1 change away from that. So this, again, like this week is more about key levels and stock trends than it is about catalysts, because outside of the story like last week from the Chinese crackdown on the gaming companies, there really isn't necessarily a catalyst there. You're just looking at a ridiculous upward trend, which is trying to continue, and next stop 48. It's like Intel, like next stop 52. It's like Tesla, the 58's gone. 60 is a big breakout level for that one. So there's plenty to watch here today, plenty to be excited about, because the market is trending in the right direction. You can make money when it's trending down. It's just more fun when it's trending up.
Yeah, I agree totally there, especially if you're long, Neil. All right, guys, Blink charging on watch again today was up over 6% to start the morning, now back down into 3.88%. Adair brought that to you guys yesterday. It has been a good look here on the 15-minute chart on Blink charging, getting off that $3 area just a couple of days ago, and now we're flirting with a $4.50 area. Earlier this month, again, Ken Griffin's hedge fund Citadel reported a small stake in Blink charging. Also, Also in November, they reported that they were striking a deal with Mack Truck to provide them with a full solutions program as well. The short float should not be negated on Blink Charging. Over 31% of the float is shorted here on BLNK, up 3.88, guys.
So before we get to Blink, if you blink, you'll miss what's going on in first wave biopharma. See what we did there? This 675,000 float company is now up 213%. At the time of the watch list being made, it was up like a paltry 125%. But again, when it's a float this small, you can expect wild volatility, probably some halts along the way here. Another reverse split special, although looks like it's the third reverse split in a year and a half on the stock. I mean, I could probably zoom back further, but 1, 2, 3 times, and this time it's going absolutely parabolic. So you know the old story here, like you never went broke taking profit, and be careful chasing a move like this. I generally like, if it's already made a move like that, let's see what happens with the open when some profit takers come in. If it can hold on to $10, which is a pre-market high, that looks pretty interesting. So that's clearly one on our watch. Low float runners, I generally don't want to short them unless it goes to something ridiculously high, like $100 or like $50. You can find something that actually makes sense, which is rare. Blink Charging, unfortunately, the volume isn't participating, but it is at a key level. So you got the short float, you've got a level on the daily up here at 465. If it can find a way to punch through that, the 200 periods there at about 10% higher. So there's some potential for a breakout past 465 on Blink. It's just I don't know that the volume is getting us there just yet. You have the gap up, you've got the level, you made the run the last couple of days. The question is there something punching it through? With a bunch of other names to look at early, I think this is where you mark off the level, set an alert. If it gets above 450, you got that level at 465 back on the daily, worth watching. But unless it's above that, I don't know that I see a trade, particularly on Blink. But that FWBI, first wave biopharma. See, stocks can go up without having yada, yada, yada crypto in it these days.
Have to have yada, yada, yada biopharma and yada, yada, yada mRNA. Okay, so Blink Charging, someone that came up with a nice little charging idea and some chips and stuff like that was Nio, a new wave, a car coming out yesterday, a new kind of product coming through. And Nio right now, look at this on the daily chart. I mean, it's too bad that we didn't have it yesterday and Neil was looking at it, but I'm going to look at it a little bit more today because, see, we finally broke above the 50-period moving average, or sorry, the 200, the 50's down there. The 200 on the daily, which was $9. I just wanted to see it above 9, and now it looks like we held it pretty good yesterday. Actually, that's a 15-minute. Well, I guess that's the best chart I have up right now. This is a 20-minute chart. So if we zoom in to see what we were doing yesterday, so here's the volume yesterday. There's the breakthrough 9, and that's where I'm kind of like, missed it, right? So we missed that trade. It happened pretty much right off the jump. That's the opening candle. You can see big volume, and then there's 9. So I feel more comfortable now buying that we're above $9 because this is as a day trader. Again, I'm not convinced about getting any Chinese, although my main man over there is convinced about Chinese EVs and certain names. But I'm not convinced about buying anything in China right now. Although I really think like Alibaba, there's something about that name. I want to buy more of it, but I haven't bought anything down here. So anyways, $9 long on Nio, since we're talking a little bit about charging. I just like what they're doing. I feel that it's a nice move, and it's above $9 now. So as competition kicks up, we know BYD is sort of starting to eat a little bit of Tesla's lunch. Let's see if Nio can join the party as well. But I do like the EV space today.
Yeah, my patience is running out a little thin here on the Li Auto trade, Sean, so we'll see how long that lasts. All right, from one EV maker to the next, Tesla on the headlines again today for a Model Y revamp coming out of China. Here is the first look. This is the front, so you can see right away the headlights completely different. Side profile, not much different, but you'll see the rear lights as well, like the Model 3 are changed as well. And here's like the complete side profile. According to reports, we're looking for considerably more visible exterior and interior modifications in the most recent update, including a new wheel design and ambient lighting, both things that were added to the Model 3. Tesla up nicely today with most of the Mag 7 guys. What's the look here at $258?
Well, if 258 holds the open, We've been waiting for Tesla to break out of this channel, and there's a lot of stocks that have done this. We went through an entire list, and I'm sure at some point we're going to talk about SoFi, so I'll show this again. We'll talk about AMD. We'll show this pattern again for those two names. But it's breaking out of this downward channel that it's been in, and the consolidation above the top end of the channel here has been 250 to 260 essentially. And all you got to do next is take out the top. Hey, my pretty little lines are gone. So that's roughly 58. That's about 250. That's good enough. And I'll hit save, and then they'll stick around. So there's one tap to 260, which for whatever reason isn't showing up there. But you can see once we get above this level, there's at least 269 lower high. That was put in last time, and then you've got like a 279 lower high. So you have these like $10 ranges when you break out these evens on Tesla. First stop, the fact that we're through this 58, I think is a very good sign. You just want to be able to hold this at the open, because 58 was the last resistance on that 15-minute chart. If it doesn't hold, then if I still like the long, I'm looking at support potentially down where we closed, which is like $1.50 away, like 56.5. So I just want to see us hold 58. I think you'll 58 to 60. 60 is almost like the bigger break, and there's potential to the upside. Tesla, I understand that people can talk about valuation, this and that. Maybe they're not going to reach that 2 million in terms of deliveries this year that was set. But I mean, Elon was all doom and gloom on the last two calls, so that's not going to be anything that's unexpected. The Cybertruck's not necessarily going to be something that's going to give them any kind of profitability or move the needle in the next year. But we do know long-term, full self-driving is something that I think can take this stock to the stratosphere. And that's why it trades at this premium. For now, we're just about the trade. Can it break out this 58 to 60 level? If it can do that, I think you've got at least $5 to $10 worth of upside. This has not really participated in this last little run in the market. If Tesla starts playing catch up, you know those 5% days when Tesla just goes and goes and goes. I think if it breaks 60, it's got one of those in it.
Yeah, it's Tesla at 260 is the #1 name here on the sticky notes, so it's a no-brainer trade again. It's been doing the same thing over and over again here, and that is just trying to break these daily highs. And there's been a lot of names, we talk about it, there's been a lot of names that bumped their heads up against it. We saw Nio yesterday at $9. There it is right there at 260. I mean, the real high is 260.65, but it's going to go. It's already up. The market's up 0.1. Tesla yesterday was a pretty nice, nice mover, especially early here, where we had that dip down. This is what I'm afraid of. I'm also writing down 256 down here. So it's like you're at 258. Well, now you're at 258.50 or whatever. But I thought like $2 dip down, $2 move up. One gets you to 260, which is the break, and then one gets you down here to some kind of support. So this is the dip buy area, and then I don't know if that's going to come into play, and I think you just break it out, man. That's it. It's pretty simple trade for me. Break out the long on Tesla. It's the #1 idea on the sticky notes. So if you like it, then you're going to be with me on the long, because that's what I like. So we'll wait for that 260 break. I don't want to take it in the pre-market, but I might take it small. If it breaks in the pre-market, it will definitely come back in. I don't think it will break and run, so I'm not too worried about the FOMO. It's just I want to have something on if it does that. 256, I would love to get that price. So right now I'm excited about Tesla. I like that new Model Y. And all you wait for, as Neil mentioned, is like you just wait for a catalyst and then you could get that huge day up. So yeah, let's go. Let's wait to see. Yeah, the problem is, Hamster One, is I don't know if he's going to list SpaceX soon or not. The problem is that when he needs capital, he starts to sell Tesla shares, because that's where the only wealth he has is from Tesla shares. And he owns them. He purposely doesn't sell them until he needs cash. So the thing is like,
but there's no need for it. Like
there's no need for it.
Yeah,
but I don't.
X thing was the X thing, and that's
maybe he needs to fund SpaceX initially. I don't. He's already funding it, but I just
the private markets are happy with SpaceX.
I know. So I don't. I just saw that Hamster brought it up.
I think we're good.
I think we're good, and I think it's Elon. Oh my kid said something funny to me yesterday. So he goes, Baxter's home for the holidays, and we were talking about, it was just wealth and rich. I can't remember how it came up, but Baxter said something like, one of the most richest last names in Canada is actually Raj. So Baxter studied this, I guess, you know, South Asian and this and that. And you know what my kid Baron is? He's 11. He goes, the richest last name in the world is, because we were thinking about it, is it like, you know, is it Singh, is something in China, something like that? He just goes, Musk.
Boom.
And I was like, holy shit.
Because
Like,
you only know one, baby.
he's just like, I was like, mic drop.
Straight up.
He's like, Musk is the richest last name. And I was like, holy shit, like that was a pretty nice move, pretty creative.
You know what's weird to me?
I thought that was good.
What's weird to me is,
I mean, he has like 1,400 kids or something, so he got divided up.
no, but like for these tech billionaires, right? Like someone like an Elon Musk, who is like it's weird because you widely hated by a lot of people, but then like widely respected all the time. Yet you can, for building a company that changes the world, but like if you're like an actor or a singer that becomes like a billionaire, like for some reason, like you don't get the same kind of like there's always haters of people at the top. You don't get the same kind of levels of hate that you get. It's just weird the tech billionaires get that for some reason. Yet when they use products that everybody, like they make products that everybody loves and uses all the time. It's like you hate Bezos, but you love Amazon. Like that, it's just so bizarre and weird to me. I don't know. Like I've never understood, and Musk gets a lot of it. Now he's outspoken. That's one thing, but you can't pin that on. You can't say that Bezos is outspoken. Like the guy's not.
Well, people like. I just think people like to hate. I mean,
do,
Elon Musk is literally a genius, one of the most brilliant minds.
Exactly.
So people will hate on that, and so will I. I hate it.
There's a very big difference between that and the kind of and the fact that you don't hate on people who just become billionaires because they're Kylie Jenner or whatever. I don't even know if she really is a billionaire.
I think so.
Or like she might be, but there was that whole thing with Ford.
I mean, look at Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he sold that telecom communication, whatever that was, business there for $1 billion.
There ain't no one hating on Ryan.
Of course not. Ryan Reynolds is like
He's like
man.
the nicest guy ever.
Blake Lively.
But who makes a more positive impact on the world? A lot of people will tell you the person that creates a company that has a lasting effect, right? So like I'm nothing against Ryan Reynolds. I'm just simply saying.
I mean, you can't be loved without being hated.
Well, you can only the only thing is you can only.
It's like a lot of people hate Kobe Bryant for, you know, basically things that he has done in the past.
Well, that's a bit different. If we're talking,
but
like if we're talking the Cowboys, that's fine. You can only
right, but that's another example.
That's a different story.
That's a perfect example.
That's a different story, though.
Perfect example. All right, what's up, Sharif?
Hate.
I really did try to not bring up the Cowboys today, and Neil didn't bring it up till right now. He didn't bring it up at all yesterday, but yeah, another loss for the Cowboys, very close this past weekend against the Dolphins. All right, guys, the group of microchips and semiconductors all up as a whole here. Intel had a monster day yesterday, well over 4%, gapping up again today, about 0.75% when I looked last time. In case you're just joining us, they're going to receive about $3.2 billion from the Israeli government to build about a $25 billion foundry in the south of Israel. It is part of Intel's overall plan to expand worldwide and to change its business model from chip designer to chip manufacturer. So focusing on foundries here, gapping up again. Any look on chips?
Keep going along. I mean, the thing about this, what I love about Intel specifically, and look, AMD, we'll talk about AMD because that was a rocket ship. Just try not to fight the trend on this. But this has been a very clear, one of the reasons why I always show these charts every single time we talk about Intel, we talk about SoFi, we talk about Tesla, we talk about AMD. I'm going to show you guys the same chart because it was essentially free money. It was a triple bottom at 25. And then from that bounce, you then had the first peaks, you then had a clean trend to the upside, and once it was established, you had a couple of chances to buy it off the bottom of the trend, also holding the 200 period. And since it's broken out the trend line, all it's done is consolidate, dip back in, find that trend top as support, and then make another leg into the upside. And next stop, you've got the 52 level. You got to go way back on the daily. This is March of 2022, where 52 is resistance. From there, you got 58. You could zoom back if you want. If I zoom back, it'll probably take a few seconds. So the next level is 58 if we bust the 52 level. And I do think as long as we can hold on to 50 today, that's just a dark pool wick. We haven't traded to 52 today. The high is actually like 50.90 something. So if this can hold on to 50 in the next days and maybe weeks, I think it can get to that 52 level. Maybe it's today, maybe it's not. I'm not entirely sure. But we come back in here 50 to 50 and a quarter, where the afternoon consolidation was. You know, there was accumulation at that price before making a late move. So still favoring the long as long as it's above that level. 52 would be that spot I'd look for a turn. This and AMD. AMD held 40 and was just a rocket ship. It was a rocket ship early, and then it holds on to previous day. Like, it's just how clean is that? Like, it holds on to last week's top as support for the dip, and then just goes parabolic one more time. So AMD is just another story here on the daily. It's a channel break in the other direction. It had a descending wedge to the downside, consolidated above, and broke the heck out. Now it's above this 143.5. That's conveniently enough where it closed, which sets you perfectly up. If this dips off 145, it goes right back in a previous high, which is also previous close, and look for support at 143.5. So the technicals have been great on those two chip names.
All right. So again, the sticky note is now out. You can go find that at Trader TV, Sean. And I actually have NVIDIA on there, and I have it a way that you may not think. I actually have it as a short. I think we break 500 today, and I want to play off this level from the 18th. So I think you're going to get a breakthrough, and then I want to see it slow down, and then I want to short this 504, like 503, 504, 505. It's great. Like, if you can break through and hang out up here, that's going to be another great day. And then you start to see NVIDIA start to work into the new year. And like I said, man, we talked about this again on the podcast. Get ready for another one on Friday about what's going to work into the new year. And it's just like, I feel like the same stuff. I don't like, NVIDIA's going to work. You see AMD starting to really blast off again. So 505 right up here, 504. I just want to see it work its way up, probably consolidate a little bit near 500. We probably will take the break of 500 if it does this kind of barcoding. And then the market takes off. We'll take that break. But then I kind of want to sit here. This is a trade where you could take a couple hundred shares, something like that, depending on what your, obviously, this is why we don't really talk about share size, because it depends on what your risk tolerance is and how much you can afford to lose, really. It's not even about how much you want to make, it's about how much you can afford to lose. That's the more important thing here, because trading is not something where you're going to win, the majority of the time. 504.50 right there is the top. So I feel like if it takes that out, you may want to give it to 505, but if it's really singing, stay away. But I really like NVIDIA as a fade through that 500 if we can get up there. I know it's a little bit of a different trade than normal. AMD, I just want to say something about this name. It's like, I haven't gone in there and sold anything, but Combat RX1, you're surprised about 100 shares? Okay, I don't know if that's too little or too much, I don't know. But okay, here's the move up. So I just want to talk about, this is up 50%, since November 1st. So they had their report come out, and it wasn't loved at all. It went from $100 down to $94 on their latest earnings report. Went down 8%. And then all of a sudden, it just was like, see ya, all the way up to the upside there. And again, it's because of the rotation into chip names, and people don't want to be caught short because we don't know what's coming. And Lisa Su and everybody has come out and released their chips and released the hounds on the market. And you could see what the reaction has been. Very few down days and many monstrous up days. So what I'm getting at is I feel like it's overdone to the upside a little bit here. 50% in a month and a half, 2 months, I guess. Seems like a lot for a name that we kind of know the story, but there's really nothing. I don't even want to zoom back anymore. I feel like the level is 160 or something if I do make a zoom back in here. So there it is. Yeah, so again, so 160, 165, whoops, 160, 165. Yeah, see. That's unfortunate. We have a little bit of an area there that's going to have a bad wick. But you're nowhere near tops on this name yet, and I feel like it's getting top heavy, but I don't want to stand in front of a freight train. It's already up 0.9% versus the NASDAQ's barely green. So, wow. Chip names. And then Intel was a great look, too. ARM's still strong. I think that Intel yesterday at $50 was just such a good long. It was...
the thing is, people talk about it as a dead stock. It's a double up. But you know what? There's actually a dead stock that we're going to... It's not a dead stock, but we're talking about the telecommunication names. If you think they're boring, T-Mobile. I don't know if that's going to come up in our rundown. I think Sharif's going to talk about
it's
that.
the last
I
thing.
saw that, and then I saw what Verizon is doing.
Well, they're different names.
They're very different. Verizon has been an absolute dumpster fire, but that is a stock that is waking up and looks pretty interesting. I know it's been left for dead. People said that about Intel too, and it's doubled up since that triple bottom at 25. That's what we pointed out. Now, if only Ford could double up off of its $10, $11 level, that'd be another one. That could
Ford?
be fun. Well, I was looking at that chart as well.
Yeah,
Ford. This is not to digress, but looking at charts is
That's
what
at
we do.
$12.50 again.
And Ford is making that move off of that $10, $11 area. Now we are digressing. It broke 10 and then immediately held it. It broke the 50. It just closed above the 200 period moving average. It's at next resistance. I mean, if it breaks out from here, like say through 12.75, 13, I mean, you got a clear shot to $15, which has been resistance, and then maybe this can get off the doldrums. So anyways, it's just there's a lot of stocks that have been quote-unquote left for dead that in this, while the market's at the highs, it's like they're just starting their breakouts, technically. Ford would be an example. Verizon is an example of one as well.
All right, guys, let's have a look at these markets and see what the futures are up to. Here is the ES March contract, guys. We are flat right now at that yesterday's close, 48.25. That's the exact level that we rejected off back on December 20th. We're right back at that level. The overnight high, about 5 points higher from where we are right now, 48.30. The low, 48.21. So very muted range right now on the ES. Let's see if we can get head higher. No resistance levels to speak of here. So we're going to have to look at the psychological levels, 48.50. Possible resistance if we can break through that overnight high of 48.30, and then look for that 4800 possibly as a level of support if we have extended sell-off, but really don't anticipate that on a day like today. All right, let's get to the first topic here, but first, make sure to get that watch list every day. It is sent directly to your inbox or available on Trader TV's watch list website. Dara makes it and compiles it every morning, and it helps me organize my day and let me know what is moving. All right, first topic on the list, Tesla. A new possible redesign for the Model Y coming out of China. I showed you some pictures earlier. Here are some other ones. Here is it in the kind of the silver level. You'll notice right away the headlights in the front are a little bit different, as well as the rear headlights as well. Supposedly, we're going to get some new exterior redesigns, some redesigns to the wheels, as well as interior lighting, to name a few, but it's supposed to be similar to the Model 3 in terms of the redesign, guys.
Yeah, looking gorgeous, as it pretty much always is. Just a quick note, got into SoFi, some 10s and 11s on the break. If you were watching the afternoon show, which you should be, there was a seller at 97. The entire afternoon, there was just a brick wall at 97 that kept refreshing. It would get hit, it would reload, it would get hit, it would reload. As the stock would pull back, it made higher lows into that 97 level. So if it breaks underneath that 97 again, probably like 95, 96, then I'm just going to jump out of that trade. So I want to risk about 5 cents on the trade. I got some, like I said, I got some at 10, some at 01s there. On SoFi, it is a clean breakout. I love the levels on the daily chart, but Tesla's just it's a beast that I think needs to participate. I don't know why that line's there. Let's get rid of that. But Tesla had a good day yesterday, but did not break out the 258 level. So this is the first key test for us. You had a 58 top, and you immediately are retest. As a matter of fact, it's going to break it almost right now to the downside. It's testing underneath 258. First step, you got to hold to 58. If it holds 58 in the opening range, I think the long into 260 makes sense, where you get that 260 breakout of the channel. That for me, this is one that I've been excited about since this set up. And with the last little hold here, the 200 period and then the 50 period moving average, it was like it's just a matter of time before this stock breaks out above the 260 level. So if it's a 258 holding in the first 10, 15 minutes, I like that long as well. Otherwise, you're working back to the previous close. I don't necessarily want to be short this name. I don't really have a short setup for it. I think if I short an EV name, Rivian's already made a big move off of its 50 and 200 period moving average. It has yet to break out 25, double top at 24.60 here. Yesterday in the afternoon, there was a 24 short opportunity. As the market was ripping, this stock was resisting 24 and falling. So if there's going to be a short off the open where we don't break out and then maybe this market turns around a bit, then underneath 24 on Rivian makes some sense. I'm already bidding 22.5. I don't know why, but I saw that. I was like, oh my goodness, I really like 22.5 on Rivian. But it's like $2 away. And usually when it's that far away, you don't want it. But 22.5 is a good support level. It's just by the time it gets down there, a lot of things have probably happened. So I do like that level to the downside. But I only want to look long Tesla. If I short an EV name, I suppose there's some small ones out there that we can trade. But Rivian, the afternoon was good at 24. If it can't break that level, I like that short price. And even the 24.60 up top sets up pretty decently for Rivian.
All right, here it is. People are asking about where you can get it from. It is a stick. You can get it at Trader TV, Sean, and we have Tesla right there as the #1. I mean, I don't really rank these. It's just it was on the watch list first, so it's what I like the best out of all of this. Take the 260 long break with 256 support. I mean, I'm not gonna. You can go find out why. I mean, I'm gonna tell you why, but it's just. I like the break. It's pretty simple. We've seen Nio break through $9. I'll talk about Nio at some point here. That's also on the watch list. But here's 260, man. It's pretty clear as day. It's already up more than the market. I like Tesla. I like the redesign. I like the catalyst. I just think it works. And then the 256 is pretty obvious as well. So I'm already bidding down here. So if it does come back into the 256 level, we'll get long. But I'm bidding like 256 flat, basically. So if it comes back into that area, we'll try it. I'm actually wondering about a little bit of let's try to bid a little bit up here, 256.70 or so in front of all this junk. And then if we wind up breaking lower, I'm kind of thinking like 255 would kind of be bad if it got down here. Wouldn't be surprised if it did. Yesterday we I mean, this is the thing about Tesla is straight off the open, you get these moves. Like yesterday we sort of opened the day at 256, went up to 258, then fell back down to 256 again. So it had a $2 move before it eventually started to do its thing there. So sorry, that's 2 days ago. This is yesterday's move, because I was gonna say we're higher than that. There's yesterday's move, which is more dramatic, right? 255 down to 253, so that's your $2 move, and then the move up. So I was like, I know I wanna play the strength, so let's just do that. We'll see about a little bit of a dip buy opportunity here into 256. But yeah, Tesla, let's go. I mean, it's good redesign there. We already have, I like how we have the Tesla redesign, but the Bitcoin there. Maybe Tesla will eventually start to accept some BTC up on there. But all right, let's go back over to the desk now. It's 9:07. We both like Tesla, it seems like.
Yes, sir. Apple next on watch, guys. Again, in the news, as this time they are appealing the decision to ban imports on its Apple Watches. Essentially, it's asking the Federal Circuit Court to pause the ban at least until the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Services decides whether the redesigned versions of its watches infringe upon Massimo's patents, and to put the ban on hold while the court considers Apple's request. The Customs Office, it should be noted, is due to make its decision on January 12th. That hasn't stopped the huge, I guess, device maker from selling off for 3 days in a row now, guys, trying to hold that 193 level, just a smidge below it. What's the look on Apple?
Well, the good news for Apple is it's been on a little bit of a losing streak, like going to the downside a few days in a row here. But the good news is it doesn't approach what the Pistons are doing, a third of the NBA season, and they can't win a game. I just saw that because M. Mason put it in the chat that the Pistons set a new record. But Apple's not going to do anything like that. Like, if Apple goes down 27 days in a row, then I promise you, after about 20 days, I probably bought it almost every day looking for a bottom after that. Like, it's that kind of a stock. Like, if it goes down far enough, just everybody's going to be looking for a bottom and then trying to front run that bottom. That's the kind of name that it is. But since failing 200, it has been an easy stair step to the downside. Sometimes you get a little bit of a pop at the open to be able to fade into. That's been the case at least the last couple of sessions. So you go back to last Friday. You had a pop into 195 and then back under, and we shorted that, and then 94 in the afternoon. And then yesterday it was a pop into 194. That was a short, and then consolidation underneath there like 93.3. So those levels come into play. At some point it breaks one of these out and we get going. But 193.3 is a little bit too tight to where we are now. I think the 194, if you're above that price, Apple probably putting in a bit of a recovery. But it's just a trend that I want to follow until it decides it wants to break. So Apple, I think it's probably fine in the long term. You can get the watch everywhere except for the US, and they'll probably make up for those sales I don't want to put a quarter on it because I have no idea when this gets resolved, but some point next year, they'll be able to pull forward those sales, and everyone that wanted to watch is going to still get to watch, and everything will be all roses. For now, it is a lagging stock in the index as we're at highs. This has been pulling back. So the trend is your friend. Sometimes it'll bend and it'll break, but until then, I'm still favoring the short on Apple.
All right. Yeah. Thanks to Josh Rohn for their first super chat. Thank you so much for that. Nice little dollar. We'll put that there and we'll figure it out. Thank you, Josh Rohn, for watching, for sure. Look, Apple is just, I feel like pretty soon they're going to pre-announce lower numbers. I think Apple goes down. They're going to use this watch as an excuse, and it is going to be a good one. You can't sell the watch anymore. It's a brand new product. It was super hot. People loved it. Now they can't sell the Ultra or the 9 until it gets resolved, but it will get resolved. That's the day where you just punch long. But until then, I actually wait to see. So we want to, first of all, the trade to me is just fading 194. There's really nothing else. You could wait for this 193.50 and start the fade there. I think you might be able to get that right off the open. It's just, I'm still relatively bullish today. We do have Santa Claus rally coming through, and I don't want to just short Apple just because it comes to sort of middle of the range. I think you could put on something there, and then at the top put on something more, and then watch out for 194. Again, I'm looking to trade. How I trade is pretty simple. We talked about this. Support, resistance, and catalysts. There's really nothing else, and then relative strength and weakness as the market opens and you get some trade ideas. So right now, Apple's red, market's green. Apple did not have a great day yesterday, as we saw, nice move, and then basically faded all day until that little bump in the open, and then it got hit again to close at the lows. So or bump at the close, and then close at the low. So for me, I still feel like it's a short, and there's really no good news right now for Apple that I can see. So we'll wait for that. Their numbers are going to be huge. They're going to sell everything. It's just for now, you have to wait for that story of a deal with Massimo or whatever winds up happening. I mean, why can't they just give these guys like $2 or $3 a watch and call it a day? I mean, they're going to sell so many damn watches. But anyways, they'll get it all figured out. I like the fact that it's US v. US. So I think that's something that's going to be working in their favor, as you're going to have, like we just mentioned, the White House and some of these tribunals and all this kind of stuff come through. So I feel like they'll be able to get it done. It's not like it's China versus US, and then you have like all these international worries about trade wars and stuff like that. I feel like this gets solved, but until it does, it's a short, unfortunately.
All right, guys, this FWBI is absolutely rocketing to the high side. Just hit that $13 area. We closed it at $3.70, guys. So this one almost up 250%. Just keep an eye on this FWBI. First Wave Biopharma. That's a look there. All right, Bitcoin. Important stuff here, just a smidge below 43,000 as we look to get that spot ETF approved. Word on the street is discussions between the SEC and asset managers are advancing into the technical details, signaling to certain experts that the approval could be imminent. You have more than a dozen firms, guys, BlackRock, WisdomTree, Valkyrie, Aunt Kathy's, everybody waiting for approval. It's widely anticipated that there will be a batch approval, so there will be no first to mover advantage here for GBTC, who was the first to put in their application. Nicely up is Mara and Coin as well. Mara 4.9, Coin 2 2/3. What's a look?
First, shout out to Josh Rohn here for the second super chat. Mara looking for resistance, looking for 27. So, Josh, I'm assuming you mean you're looking for a shorted back into the 27 level. We'll get to Mara because the 27 level is a key one. Looking at that last night, obviously, in the afternoon show. But Bitcoin 42.8 has been the key price. That's what we mentioned yesterday, if you could break out that price, which it eventually did. And we just dipped in and then held that as support. So watch that 42.8 level. You are trending to the upside. If you look specifically at Mara, we've gapped above almost exactly a 27 close. So you had 2 days in a row closing just underneath the 27 mark. I just feel as if it's up top and it's looking for resistance, there isn't really anything found just yet on Mara. So you can anticipate something like 30 because it's a round number. I know it's overextended and you look for a pullback, But until it fails an even dollar or a significant level on the daily or something like a $30 level, I generally want to be playing the trend. It was a consolidation day yesterday, and when you get that kind of a day, it provides you with opportunities. So the 27 looks like a spot that if it drops a dollar, I'd almost be thinking, is it a dip buy there? And then the close before that was 26.70. Both of those look like key levels to me on the way back in on Mark. Could it also hold out 27.7, the Friday high? That's worth looking at as well. So I'm just looking at previous highs for possible dip zones to just join the trend in to the upside. Again, the trend is your friend. And then it's a very similar thing on coin. Coin can just take out the top here. So I think you want to look for longs. If it starts trending to the downside, typically when these pull back, there are moves that you can join. But I don't know if I'm there just yet. I mean, if you've gone long every single day or looked for longs, you've been profitable. And at some point, the rug might get pulled. But if it goes like 7, 8, 9 times in a row that it wins, then you should be fine.
So yesterday, shout out to Zoltan and everybody who was trading with me yesterday, because you had if you held it, you had a $9 winner. We were very, very patient and shorted Coinbase right here at 178 yesterday. And we got nervous and got out a little bit at 178, which was crazy. And then we got the rest out here at 175 before it broke down. So again, we had the short yesterday in Coinbase. Am I looking for it again? Maybe. Let's just see what happens. But I actually wrote down something different today on the sticky note, and those of you that are looking at it would know. I think we could break longer here through 180. I mean, you know, there's that 178, 179 high. Let's just see what it does there. You know, if it bounces around and holds, like I don't have the 180 break right now. Like if it happens first thing, that I think we'll probably wind up missing it, because Coinbase is not very liquid. That's what made me nervous. You can have 75-cent spreads on this name. Like, trust me when I tell you. Trust me, bro. Oh, by the way, tonight Raider Trader on the Market Recap Show, which is getting better, baby. Man, what's up to Fabian? Shout out to Fabian staying late with me yesterday, and traders will stay late. So it's just traders stay late. That's what it is, not real traders stay late. Traders stay late with me tonight. It should be a fun one. All right, so I want to try to trade Coinbase. We just talked about Bitcoin trying to break through, and just did break through, by the way. It just broke through 43,000. So right here, a nice little candle happening right in front of us. This is, of course, a 5-minute chart, so we can maybe reduce this down to a 2-minute chart. Here it is, nice little movement up to 43 and trying to take it out. If crypto and Bitcoin takes out this 43.2, which is this daily high right now, then, I mean, Coinbase probably takes that 80, and that's not even that far away right now. So play the momentum to the upside. I'm sort of in shell shock with everything here, because honestly, I sold my HUD 8, and I was just saying this before we went on air, down at like 1280 or something like that, just over right into here. Yeah, 1280. That'll make sense. So right into maybe might have been 1380, but anyways, right into here. The idea is I've missed this whole last 2-3 days upside right now. I'm very, very surprised. I might still have a piece, but I don't think so. I'm very, very surprised at this move up, but we got to play momentum. Coinbase right now is a $180 stock. It can go $3. That puts it at that 180. So I feel like that's going to be a good break. I'm more excited for Tesla and Nio breaks, but I think Coinbase can do it. I just worry about the spread.
Bitcoin above 43,000 now, Sean. All right, guys, next on the docket, Meta catching a price target upgrade from Wedbush, specifically analyst Scott Devitt maintaining it with an outperform rating and increasing the price target from $350 to $420. Here is the 15-minute chart on Meta. As early as December 14th, we were still at that $327 area. We are now knocking on the door of $357. We touched it yesterday. Meta up and to the right, Sean. What's a look?
Yeah. Again, they're all. I just don't know about Meta. I just don't know. I mean, Meta's been so strong. It's been an amazing, amazing stock this whole month, man. The month of December has been just kick-ass for Meta, because it was down here at 320 and at the 50-period moving average. Now you're up like $30. That's 10% there in Meta. Like, for those of us, or those of everybody out there that's like, oh, you know, you don't want to buy Meta because, you know, boo Instagram, it's so bad for the world. You know, what's bad for your bank account is not owning this stock. But at the same time, there's many other names. You can get into whatever you want. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to break out again through 360. And when it does that, we don't have the switch over from the symbol of Meta and Facebook. So unfortunately, it cuts off there. I guess I could. We're coming up to a level, but I'm not even worried about past levels right now. I'm just worried about what it looks like here. So this is, as it loads up, you can see what we're sort of doing here. The trend has definitely been favored the long. I mean, look at the bottoms. We just keep on making, you know, higher lows here as we continue to go upside. And then there's the top, there's the new top, there's the new top, and we kind of touched it yesterday. So I mean, to say that it's a break long at 57.50 or so, I think is probably right. So 357.50, another great one. Microsoft looks very, very similar. I just, again, with the NASDAQ basically being flat here today and not moving since we started, I'm not sure. Some days we get these huge moves in the morning because we get PCE or some kind of a number that comes out, and then the market can kind of just go from there. But I'm not really super excited right now about any of these plays. Like if Meta gets to that 357.50 right off the open, am I going to punch long? I mean, it's already up 0.5% by the time it gets to that level. And if the NASDAQ's not going with it, then I might be punching tops on an upgrade. I'm okay with it. I don't really, you know, we were sort of, and it's funny because Adara, we were kind of talking about this and we were kind of pulling at straws today because there's not really too many earnings plays. We don't even have an upgrades and downgrade board. So it's just like not too much action happening here. And I don't want to get caught in the metaverse and just punch long here on this name. So I like Microsoft a little bit better at 376. And I do like Tesla for the model revamp. And then I like Nio because it moved off $9 yesterday. So Meta, not quite the catalyst that I'd be looking for here.
Yeah, not really, but the 360, I mean the 360 level and the 380 level at least. I mean, I did pull up the weekly chart for Meta here because I think if this, it's already making the break off the last level, the pre-earnings consolidation level, the one that was the bad one, the 300 drop where it went 300 to 200 in a couple of days. But like that top was right here and we're already broken it out at 353. So that's gone. And then all that's left is the top end of this range, 360 into 380. So you got to go way back on the weekly chart for it. So this is the way I want to approach it. If we do break this top here, I have 357 quarter, whether it's quarter or half, it doesn't matter. If it gets above that price and we just start buying and there's buyers above, then I want to look to join a trend above that level. So my approach would be, instead of anticipating that it's going to happen, if we do break out that top and it holds that top, we consolidate above it, and there's buyers above it, then I only want to look for longs into 360 at that point. So that might not be a trade until after 10 o'clock if this stock is trending. I do not want this to be a name where if it's up, I'm afraid to chase a move when it's above that key price. I think that's going to be a good one. And then if you do get to yesterday's double bottom, that looks like a good support level at 353.5. You have a previous close underneath there as well, 353. So Meta is more of a wait and see type trade. SoFi just got up to 10.05. This is, someone was just asking why SoFi. $10 break and key level observed in the afternoon yesterday, and the stock has been trending up. So it broke. It hasn't really looked back just yet. I just got to fill up there first take at 1-to-1, and let's see if we can get to 10-10. But still, there's a lot of Mag 7 names to look at. I just feel as if you got to be patient with a few of them, because the rally yesterday wasn't necessarily about the Mag 7s. You wanted to be in the chip names, you wanted to be in the crypto names, you wanted to be in Intel, obviously. So you just be patient with something like Meta.
All right, not a name we typically talk about on the show or sector in general. We're talking about the telcos. T-Mobile US on the radar today as a result of this new headline coming out of Japan. SoftBank Group, they jumped 5% overnight on the Nikkei as they are going to receive about $7.59 billion worth of shares for TMUS, about 48.75 million shares. That's going to be the total there. That'll boost their stake from 3.75% of the company to 7.64%. This all goes back to the merger between Sprint and T-Mobile. Sprint was owned partially by SoftBank. And this, look at this chart. This is not a chart that you typically associate with telecom companies. It's either down and to the right or stagnant, but we just made an all-time high on TMUS back on the 12th, guys. What's the look here, if any?
So T-Mobile is not necessarily a day trading stock, but look, it's got a good trend, and it's actually down 0.5% here after a good rally in the afternoon. It's just kind of given that back on light volume in the pre-market. The one that might be a little bit more interesting, because this is what I pulled up, and I just saw this comment in the chat. Rainmaker, lots of overvalued stocks need to find some undervalue for a long or for a swing. And this is more like when it breaks out, it looks interesting to me. Verizon is not better than T-Mobile. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. You guys are American. You guys can tell us which one you tend to prefer here. But at the end of the day, this is only now breaking a downward trend. It actually got a golden cross if you're into that kind of thing, like last week or like a few days ago, or whenever the heck it happened. Right here, the 50 and the 200 had a convergence and then a breakaway, and you're consolidating above both. If it takes out the new high, maybe breaking 38, breaking 39, a little bit more exciting, I think this is a stock that has room to rally. I just don't think T-Mobile or this is a day trade. You got to be looking to other places for some movers. That's why I wanted to be looking at Snowflake today, because after what I saw yesterday, or it's not even what I saw. We got the best trading community out there, and it was what everybody else saw. Like I saw C3AI because it was going nuts, and then all of a sudden we were alerted to what was going on with Snowflake, which was impressive at about 1 o'clock. This stock went up like $2.50. Some insider buying, and I think a couple of those names, but it's charging toward a $200 level. So Snowflake, if it breaks out above 200, it's just got, I mean, it's not air up there because it still has the 203 level, but once you start taking out these, it gets pretty spicy. To the upside. You got 200, you got 203, you got 205. They give you a couple of dollar moves, and then once you get past that, you got about $30, $40 till next resistance. So Snowflake's on the radar. That had a rocket ship and had buyers yesterday. So I think if you get a continuation there, it looks pretty exciting. But maybe not as overextended as some other tech names out there.
Yeah, AMD looks like it wants to take out 145. Nice little move up there. We just got the imbalances, so let me just take a look right now. What's popping off? Ooh, bets. Yeah, wow. 2 cents is gonna. This thing's gonna get to that for sure. I would think. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say for sure, but the 2 cents.
Well, it's already close.
2 cents is such a nice move, even from here. Okay, what else is on here quickly? Gap. Well, we just talked about Verizon a little bit. Tilray, as some of the marijuana names get heated up a little bit. Palantir, not too exciting yet. Although you mentioned Snowflake, but Palantir yesterday, we had a good short there in and around this area yesterday, right off the close, basically. Well, in the afternoon, but I don't really see anything. I thought there might be some Tesla on here or something like that, but there is nothing. There's Mara. Mara, a little bit of a bid. I think Mara gets to $30. I really think we could take. I mean, I guess they were expecting more of a buy in this name, but it's a nice little downside move there for Mara. Watch out for 28.50 in that name. Let's just check out Tesla. This is a name that I feel like I'm going to get into pretty much right away here, as we do have a buy on Tesla to see if it will work through 260 upside right now. So let's see if that does wind up working out, as we'll watch out for our share size, because it might just break first thing. It is pulling back in. We do have bids down here at 256, so we want to watch out for that play. Nio for some reason is pulling back in as well. I wrote down on the sticky note that although I'm still bullish, we could pause out for a little bit here. Like we keep seeing on the chat, and we understand it, is that right now there is a lot of stock. I mean, I just talked about how much I love AMD and NVIDIA, and at the same time, I still think they're overbought, right? So we talked about all of that, but overbought stocks just get more overbought. Like it doesn't mean they can't continue to go up. Because if you go up $30 and then drop down $10, don't you still wish you bought it, somewhere at the beginning of that rally? So, Nio back down into 9 is something that we want to look for as well. I don't know if that happens. I'm bidding down here, so I'm just trying to get you guys set up for areas of concern for me. NVIDIA, we talked about that. If that does break 504, we'll look at that. We had a good short yesterday that didn't start to print until the afternoon on DraftKings. So this is another name that I kind of...
Apple just dropped $1.
Yeah, okay.
Is that imbalance?
Unless the imbalance just showed up on Apple, let me double check. No. So.
Okay, no.
Yeah, I mean, was it on volume or what? No, 192.30. Yeah, so that's a nice move. Yeah, down 70 cents. Yeah, $1 almost. Yeah, nice move. So this is what I mean. There's going to be moves like this. So there goes Apple. We were looking at 194, but that's a good call. Did like some of the other NASDAQ names do it? Yeah, Meta too, man. Meta dropped down about $1 and change, or about about 70 cents, but not much volume. Did Microsoft do it as well? I think this is just repositioning.
Yeah, Intel dropped 40 cents.
Okay, so yeah. So 373 for Microsoft now. Yeah, so some of these names are already pulling back a little bit here with only a minute to go, Adair. Don't sit down for too long as we're getting ready to rock and roll now off open. So let's watch out for some of our bids. Tesla's, okay, so Tesla's the one I'm bidding. I'm bidding Tesla, and because you hamster, I'm bidding Roblox down here at 46 as well. So let's wait to see if something can happen. If this market really falls on its face early, I feel like I'm gonna get killed. So let's watch out for some of these bids and not let that happen to us, okay? So Tesla, Nio, definitely on watch early here.
Oh,
and
with less than a minute to go, there's also a big 52 level on a firm, which is in play today. It's at 50 change, so 52 on a firm, double top on the daily here that you can see.
Firm, oh my God,
far enough so you can see the double top. If it gets to 52, it's resistance till an 8, with 30 seconds to go. So it feels like there was maybe some small selling right before the open. Last time that happened, we did get a little bit of a dip buy. I'm only in SoFi for now. I like the 24 level on Rivian if there's going to be an early short, but I also like Tesla to the long side. But the countdown is on. It's hump day. It's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday in the holiday shortened week. It's the 27th. Let's get this party started in 3, 2, and 1. Ring it, Adara.
All right, some call it the casino, some call it the stock market, but either way, we are now open, so let's go. The proper way is called the stock market. All right, so we're gonna watch out to see if Roblox does make that move back in. It looks like it's trying. Oh, we just got long something. And what was that? Nio down here at, okay, well, here it comes. Nio with a nice move in immediately off open. So we are now long at 12s here on NIO. Again, no idea where this is gonna go from here. That was a little bit of an aggressive move back down to the downside. We did talk about this possibly happening off the open. So now we got to be a little bit more patient than maybe even we wanted to. It just dipped down into 9 as well. But there we go. Nice little long for us so far. And there it is. A nice little move back upside for Nio. Let's try to take something out there at 15s. Let's go to the upside here on.
Broke clean.
No, not 260 yet.
No, 250. No, it's a high of the day.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for 260 for Tesla, but good call so far on Nio. Well, bad call. I mean, I'm flat on it. Let's wait to see what happens, but it did dip into that 9 area. There we go. We just got a 20 fill. This could be a monster trade for me, guys.
Just got a spike in a back up there off the 10 on SoFi. Took some out there, but going in the other direction from Tesla's Rivian. So Rivian, it is a short. It just never gave a fade off of the 24 level. It just came straight to the downside with a lot of other tech names, but Tesla looks like it is going for an absolute charge up to that 260. If it does a dip before there, I probably look to try to join this off of the previous highs and see if we can't get a dip buy going on Tesla. Snowflake, I said I don't want to ignore you today, Snow. It just broke 200. I don't really try. It's only done 180,000 in volume. Snowflake is usually a stock that I don't want to break out at 930. It's on that GME category, but it did make the 200 break. If it can hold above there, I want to look for that long. Intel is still dipping a little bit. 50-50 is right around where it closed at exactly 50-50, sorry. That's the first dip level, previous close. So just in SoFi, that's working. But Snowflake going, and we're 70 cents away from taking the top on Tesla.
Guys, we've already, I mean, let's go. We're already, like when it's on the sticky note, you know that there's going to be shares being played. So there it is right now. It's Nio. It's a nice move to the upside. And we'll just, I'm trying to piece this out little by little here on NIO just to see what winds up happening. There was just a huge size just flashed on there. That was ridiculous on Nio on the bid. And then it got filled like as fast as it went out there. That was weird trade there. Okay, we got to get some more out. Anyways, we already got some out. Like this is the trade so far, guys. Obviously, someone flushed it. We just got, we got that 29 fill. Okay, so that's good. Our next fill, there's 29 again, sorry. Our next fill's into the 30s, and let's see how high we can go. Hopefully, we'll be able to hold this one. It's NIO, and it's Rip City right now, and we have it, man. This is going to be probably, well, we'll wait. I mean, who knows what the best trades are going to be for me. But this one so far with the one trade that we've been in, really like when things work out. Here comes Tesla talking about working out. Nio trade could look silly in a couple seconds here, because if Tesla hits that 260 and comes back in, that's going to be a problem. So let's wait to see what happens right now on Tesla as we get a little bit more out on Nio. Having a hard time at 930, but I like it so far. We're long one trade, and that's all it takes for me right now.
Yeah, but it's not the only thing breaking out Tesla. It's through that 260 made that break. Meta also making the break as well. Oh,
really?
Yeah,
nice.
Meta's at 358 already, so it's already ridiculous in these markets. You got to play the strength, and the strength is definitely there. I just got a 10 fill on SoFi. But obviously Tesla breaking 260 is what just happened, but I was on the meta chart, so I don't want to flip away from it. If we get to 261, I think that's where you look for an out on that first dollar move. But if we pull back in on meta, 357.5 is a key zone. It's Tesla. I thought I hit enter there. There we go. Tesla breaking the 260 level. It is headed strongly to the upside, 1.5% up. It is the first long that isn't the pre-market trade on SoFi. And if you bought Apple on that bottom at 192, congratulations to you. It looks like that was I don't want to call it like free money because who knows what was happening. I think it was maybe just an imbalance or something. But Apple immediately rebounding like 80 cents. So the market is trying to break through those highs. We are at all-time highs, essentially, NASDAQ all-time highs. You also have the ES, which just challenged them as well. Still think Rivian's a short, though. I just have to find my way into it.
Yeah, Rivian's going to be a dangerous one to the short side. Well, here goes. Okay, so we got some out on Apple there for sure. Or sorry, Tesla up there at 259.50 or so. But for right now, we're going to have to wait to see where it goes. Sorry, 260.50 was the highest it went. And our best out there is 260. 30s. Oh, we got one. We got two fills there. One's, yeah, both at 30s. So far, so good. Let's just see where it goes for now. We've talked about it could dip down a little bit. But this trade is really, man, this is what's carrying. We only have two trades, so it's kind of obvious what's carrying us here. It's going to be NIO. So let's wait to see if it continues to work. But I'm still on this Tesla train, and we have a lot of shares. So I can't wait for 261. I have to get some out as we continue to go to the upside. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to stick with what I'm doing now on Tesla, see if it goes back up to the upside. I do have an offer at 260.50 for sure. And then I'm going to put one right now at 261 because if we can get up there, then we're really laughing. So hopefully that'll continue to go to the upside. Meta going as well, as Neil just mentioned, but we got
Mara's fine.
We got a lot of concerns here as Tesla is really my whole day right now. So let's effing go. This is what happens when it's Sticky Note Nation time. Let's go. Good out there on Tesla, 260.50. It got to 260.75. We need this thing to go. Let's go, Tesla. Let's go, Nio.
Yeah, I mean, everything is absolutely flying. Tesla just tagging the 75 level as well, so it does get up there.
Yes,
Mara
sir.
just broke $29 on Mara. It just went. I'm telling you, man, it's like long and strong. You just find something, grip it and rip it, going to the upside. The only thing I'm looking at that is weak right now is Rivian, and even that's making a bit of a bounce. So look for some dip buys in here. I might look for a reload. That last push got to 75 on Tesla. I took some out when it failed that level. I'll look for a reload maybe off the 260s as we're going right on to Adara at the desk.
Yeah, Singulate, CING is the ticker for this one. Low float runner up almost 150% right now, but 135%. No news on this one. Float of 685,000, guys.
Let's go, guys. We are once again having one of our best days of the month, and we have two stocks, and they're both the #1 jacks here. We have 4 ideas, and we just took $1 on Tesla. We still have more than half of this position, and we have serious shares. So this is going to be a good one, moving back up to the upside. So there's another out at 80. Let's just go. Let's see how far Tesla can go, guys. I mean, honestly, now we're out of half. We just got that fill at O's there. So now we're out of half. It's been a great trade. It's only in the money $1. We know it can go a lot higher than that, but at the same time, this is what I do all the time, and I take too much profit. But we'll wait to see what happens here on Tesla. Still give it maybe back to 258. I really want to see this thing run. We're actually up. We're up more on Tesla, but we actually are up a decent amount and almost the same amount on Nio, but Nio's having a hard time and it's not going the same way. So we'll take a little bit more out there at 27 and then see where this one wants to go. But yeah, man, this has been such a good day so far in this market, as we keep saying. Let's just check out what Coinbase is doing. 178. So we were looking at that. Yeah, we were looking at that 180 marker and not filled yet on that. But honestly, guys, I'm through the moon now. So let's just wait to see what happens here on Tesla, because here it goes, man. Let's get through 261, and then the next spot to look at, I don't even know. I mean, that's 267, 265. Just
I'm looking,
let's break.
I'm looking $2 because 58 to 60, 60 to 62. Like, I always look at previous range, first initial move. That's,
yeah,
and again,
hopefully.
That's just my opening trade style. But the other thing that we're in has been just gliding to the upside. It's $10 on SoFi. That's why I like it. It bounced off 10.01 at the open. So it comes back down, holds 10.01, and then is back at 10.10. Like, that's a simplistic idea of a trade. Now that it's up here, I move my trail on it back to the $10. So I cannot lose on this trade on SoFi as long as it holds that 10 even level. You talk about these miners being impressive. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, but Mara, it is a straight shot to the upside. There wasn't even a test of the bottom. Like, you couldn't even get like pre-market lows or anything resembling 27. Like, there was just nothing. Now you're pretty much charging to the $30 level. If we're taking the stairs up, I'll look for a consolidation, dip into VWAP, like that kind of a thing. But that's all you got left. Intel, that's above $51 now, so 52 is the big level. I think there's resistance at 52 at some point, but it has to get there first. Rivian's starting to climb back up. I liked it for a short, but I liked it at 24. So, I guess I could have been sitting in it in the pre-market, but was not. It's now trying to go back up with the rest of the market. So still only long in the two names that we had. Apple, probably not going to see 194. It's it's turning underneath yesterday's bottom. So that's the first level of resistance, I guess, this 193. If I like Rivian and Apple short, well, it's at least giving me something here on Apple. To the south side. If it gets to 193, even if it breaks out the high, that's an easy out. Pre-market high is 190.06, so you can just punch out there.
All right, I don't even want to. Let's go. I don't even, honestly, man. Wow, 1650 for Hut. That sucks. Okay, there we go, man. Let's go. We're waiting now. Like I said, this is going to be good, man. This is going to be a good day, and so far so good right now as we wait to see what's happening with the rest of these markets. But let's go Tesla. This is the trade for me, guys. Honestly, this is the trade for me. It was written right on here, and thank you to Hamster. Thank you to everybody that's Sticky Note Nation out there, because this is what it's about, man. Sharing ideas, sharing the love right back with you guys. And letting you know where I'm going to be putting some risk. And there it is. It's Tesla. It's a huge move to the upside. It's not even that huge. I think it can go a lot more. So we're going to wait now. I'm at 261.44. There's a $1.50 right there on Tesla off of, again, as it was written. It's right here. So go at Trader TV, Sean. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content and the free stuff that we're giving out here. And that's the whole point of what we're doing, is to try to grow the community. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm just going to get some more out here on Nio, honestly, because, again, I just have to watch these positions. Oh, wow. Nio really is kind of going the other way right now, as opposed to Tesla.
Oh, that was a hard turn on Rivian just
yeah, so we're going to get some more out here on these EV names. All is well. We're doing quite well here. Yeah, Tesla and Nio, we just got some out at 25 break right there. So, all right, good out so far on Tesla, but maybe one more coming for me at some point.
Yeah, I was just saying there was a right turn on Rivian. It was looking like it was going to challenge pre-market highs there, or at least back into pre-market lows, I should say. And then it was a hard right turn, and another % back into the downside. So you're getting, I think it's a short. I'm in the Apple short right now at 75s. Let's see if this one can maybe pop up into VWAP and give me some kind of an entry. Even if I just have to have a tight stop, 10-cent risk, I might just go ahead and do that, or even less than that on Rivian. I want to be in position on this to the south side. It just went red. The other thing that's worth watching here, we talked about, there's a lot worth watching. Snow was unable to hold a $200 level. It plays in both ways, man. If we never get back above 200, that could turn into opening resistance. But it's still light volume on Snowflake, so I don't want to jump into trades. I think Tesla, I'm holding it for a test of the 262. That's the next decision to be made on our good friend TSLA. And by the way, Coinbase with Mara, it just got to 180. So again,
oh, really? That's
these
my
names
trade
are absolutely flying. I did like Mara for a trade a little bit better, whether you took the breakout on Coinbase or Mara, it really didn't matter. You're winning on either one. Let's go to Mara. Let's go to Adara.
Some of these payment names here getting a nice boost early on, including Affirm up about 3% right now. Upstart up about 4.7% right now. Upstart also notable. It has a 37% short float, guys.
Oh yeah, Affirm.
All right. Oh man. Okay. we should be long Coinbase. This was another trade that we had obviously on our radar, and it's just breaking right now. So we could probably take it. I mean, it's trying to break through 180 right now. Well, it is breaking through 180. Damn it. So that's the trade there. We don't have it. There it goes again. That's going to be so far we're going to go 3 for 3. It is, well, Nvidia's not at 504 yet, but 180 break on Coinbase. There it is. That's a dollar club. Nvidia's not there yet. Nio breaking is great. I only have 2 positions. And then the Tesla 260, man, that one really is what it is. This is carrying the day. This is an absolute monster move for me. So yeah, just another one of those days where we're kind of like shell shocked by some of these things. So there it goes, right up to 262. Let's try to hold. Again, you know, we're already out of. I only have like 20% left, which kind of sucks as the move's happening right in front of my face. But that's why we use more shares, so that we can scalp it out, so that when it does go $1, it makes sense, right? So there it is right now. Nice move upside on that. I'm just gonna hold it. So
it comes down to what you're out at too as well. Just so you guys, because I don't know if I said this, but my out was 50 cents.
Yeah.
So if my out's at 50 cents, until it's better than 1-to-1, I take nothing out. And then when it goes to target at 262, those are the places to make a decision as it continues to go higher. Now, if you're risking $2 on the trade, you can't be scalping it out like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Like if you're risking $2, you can't take anything. You shouldn't be taking anything out until it's at like 261. But it's one in. It's essentially a breakout trade. I'm gonna hold on to SoFi because it's not at target yet. It just got up to 20. So this is. Again, this is another name, very clean level off the 10s. If you got it, I'll be mad that I took some out early, but there was overhead resistance at 10.15. And now that you're through the 15 level, this becomes a hold into 10.30 on SoFi. So I am in Rivian short because it's been relatively weak, but the market is more of a buy than anything else. Coinbase, there's nothing to say about Coinbase except for rocket ship, 5.5% there. Mara at 29 is at least holding. There might be a chance for a dip buy upcoming because it's at least consolidating here on Mara.
Oh, Nelly, man, it's already been a great Christmas in the Katina household, but damn it. Coinbase could have just got that new Oculus. Nice move to the upside there. Just went $2 off sticky note level. So that was a good one right there again. And again, what's up to Hamster there? Because I remember when I said it, I was like, I don't know if I trust that fill. And you're just like, in sticky note we trust. I should have taken that myself. So definitely a mistake there by not doing that. But we'll see if it does fall back in. We'll have another look. Actually, I'm going to cancel those bids now. So I did put a bid out there in case it did fall back, but it didn't fall back. So right now we're just going to have to wait on that and see what happens here, unfortunately, and not unfortunately, but with our Coinbase trade, as that was a missed opportunity. But we didn't miss this, man. I mean, this was, again, nice little move to the upside here. We just cashed it out again on Tesla for that one, and we're about to tweet this out again. So here it is right now. If you guys are wondering like where this sticky note thing is that we keep talking about, I'll get it, Fabian, don't worry. Right there. So, I mean, you know, it's every day. This is just free for you guys. I put it out. There's the podcast. Go find it. But it's right here. Tesla 260 long break. We discussed it. We liked it. There's a catalyst there. We talked about why we liked it and everything. So go find it out. And those are the trades. I'm going to do my
pre-market, right?
Yeah. This is 8 o'clock. So there it is, man. And given to everybody. Neil has the morning mix. We have lots.
That was out I usually put mine out before 8 o'clock, but it's the same level.
Yeah.
Like I'll get mine out usually about a half an hour to 40 minutes earlier just because that's when I'm in, but it's about the same levels. It's just, you can always have a different approach to it, right? Like I tend on a breakout trade to treat it very differently than others. I'm generally in and out of it. Then I look for a stair step and continuation type plays, but the key levels are what it's all about. That's why we do the morning preparation. Wow. That's why we don't start at 9:25. And we start at 8:30 for you guys. We want to talk about what's next sometimes. Rivian, the Tesla's strong, Rivian's not right now. It just curled yesterday's close price or yesterday's consolidation at the bottom. It gave you right into the pre-market low. I just got shorts in the 70s, 65 and 70s, and then already taking some out at the 50 level. So it just gave you almost 1% there to the downside. Apple is starting to curl as well. So Apple, there was that weird sell-off for whatever reason right before the open, and it came right back up to those prices and is dipping back in there again. I tried to add in front of 90s, was unable to get that fill, but it's bouncing off VWAP a little bit. So Apple, it's a sell till it's not, at least for me. Rivian as well, looking like a bit of a pull to the downside. And guess what? Pedro yelling it out. There it is. You've never seen this on our watch list, and T-Mobile is actually moving today. It just moved to the upside. So, you know, like it's there for a reason. There was a bit of a catalyst for T-Mobile. It was an upgrade, I think it was. But you're right about this,
Look
Alex.
at coin.
Intel not exactly breaking out. So Intel did this yesterday as well. So I don't want to put this one in the penalty box just yet because Intel took a while to get going, and if you gave up on it, then you missed out on a huge move to the upside. So Intel consolidating while the market is pulling back, at least for now. But there were short opportunities just now in that market move up.
I mean, you know, like I was saying about Coinbase right there. There's the other break that we had right here, Coinbase breaking through 180. So that's now at 182. The high of the day is 183. So that could have been another $3 move. It's so stupid. We should have had that one for sure, but we did not. Okay, so I'm only in 10% now of Tesla. So let's see where it goes. I mean, this is what trading is all about, right? Giving yourself an opportunity to make a little bit of cash here on the move up. And that's exactly what we did. We held for that sort of dream up there to 162. It's not even that much of a dream. It's just a nice trade. So we'll wait to see if it continues with that movement or not. Nio's been sort of the disappointing one because we only have these two trades on. So Nio's been pretty disappointing as I sit here and wait for it. It's been a nice move. It'll be P&L too, but it's just like, what else can you do here? If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. I still do want to wait on that Tesla. Thanks, Next Level Up. That's what I'm trying to do. You know, this is what it's about. You don't need to go crazy with multiple trades. That Coinbase one does upset me a little bit, just because I knew that we had written it down and I shied away from it. So, I mean, now look where Coinbase is. I mean, again, you know, we had it written down there for 180 long, and it broke. All it's doing, really, guys, is just giving me more and more confidence for the damage that we're going to do tomorrow and the damage that we're going to continue to do every single day here. That's what it's about, right? We have 1 or 2 red days this month. Like, confidence is high. This is what trading's all about. And I've said this before, and Sharif mentioned this on the show as well, is that a scared trader, right, is basically an ineffective one. And you can't be scared when you're trading. So I was scared there. We should be long 180. It should be, now I wouldn't have them all still in my possession right now, but you know, we definitely would have something, and it's $4. So it's a day, it's like a month maker for many guys, and would have been a nice make today. So again, that's going to hurt a little bit. But what's not hurting now is a nice little bump back in Nio. And again, thanks for all the nice talk there in the chat. And you know, we're here every single day. The market is open, and Adara is filling in for Brendan. So let's go see if she's got any news for us.
This one was actually on the watch list along with these crypto names, but Bit Digital, BTBT, actually just hit a new 52-week high, up about 15% right now. Earlier, it did announce that it's doubling the size of its fleet for its Bitcoin mining operations. So keep an eye on this name, up 15%, BTBT.
Key levels everywhere. Look, Bitcoin is making some big moves to the upside. The bigger rally, obviously percentage-wise, is in some of those crypto names. I just got quarters on SoFi. Again, it's going to be a pretty clean. Sometimes you get an even dollar level and it works out easily. Other times you'll trade an even dollar level and it'll kind of wash you out. But that hasn't happened. Mara, there's no dip to be had in Mara. So I'm going to hold on to SoFi the last little bit for a 10:30 break. I'm going to get to Rivian in a quick second, but Mara has its sights set on $30 at this point. On the 3-minute chart, there was this move here, if you could grab it, back when the market made a pullback, and it was a huge jump up. It's not, I don't want to say quote levitation, but when it was under 29, it flashed back above. The buying at the 29 level was pretty impressive. Like, there's a lot of buying underneath the $29 level. So as it goes back in, I want to look above that for potential technical support. Rivian, we were in and out. And when I trade, again, everyone's going to have a different style. Tight stop. No one trade's going to ruin me. It was a clean short, but it held the bottom and then broke out the top. I get out of it. I'm going to risk 5 cents to make 20. And if that's going to work, then great. If it doesn't work, it's never going to hurt you that bad. Apple is still working underneath VWAP. It's still relatively weak. I did not get the ad here on Apple. Down 0.3% as the market is up 0.1. It continues to be a bit of a rocket ship. And joining the party to the upside is Intel. So it kind of was calm. It just broke the 51 level for the second time. I want to look for this to take the stairs up. But it's not all good in chip land. AMD, low of the day. So it's a bit of a different story. AMD was an absolute rocket ship. It wants to challenge this 143.5 previous close. looks like that could be a bit of a support zone. But I much prefer Intel at this moment for the long as opposed to AMD.
All right, guys. Yeah, we do have confirmed tonight. Raider Trader will be on the market recap show, so that should be a lot of fun as we're bringing him back, baby. So the Raider Trader coming back on there. We'll see if we can trust him or not coming through. That's going to be Raider Trader. And hey, man, the market recap show just gets better and better every day. So watch out for that today. We had Brian Shannon on yesterday, and that was an amazing time to have Brian on. We had some fun about Boxing Day and a few other things on there as well. So definitely make sure you check that out. Lots of fun on the market recap show. Traders stay late with me. Me and Obi and Fabian and Ramin, generally the ones that are here for that. So that should be a lot of fun. All right, look, I'm just gonna. Tesla's topped out at 263 a little bit right now, but again, we're trying to respect the long that we had talked about, right? So let's go. Let's try to hold it. SoFi 1030 was the level for me, so we're going to wait to see if we have any SoFi love in and around 1030. So that's going to be something for me to break a little bit long on if we're lucky enough to get that. So that's going to be SoFi upside. I know Neil's already in it, but really, guys.
Roblox 47.
Oh. Roblox 47. Oh, that was the one that we added late, but we wanted a dip. We do not have that Roblox dip. I was bidding 46.11. Let me see what the low was there on Roblox. No, 46.23. Oh, so again, like, look, it's a good thing I'm distracted with Tesla. Don't get me wrong. I'm super happy to be distracted with this Tesla trade. But yeah, missed opportunity down there on that dump in. See, sometimes you just put a random price, like 46.11, but you know that should have been looked at there a little bit better. But oh well.
For day trader, 11 I find isn't random because it's like you know what you do. Like it's in front of an even. Sometimes you want the 1s, 2s, and 3s. If you're in front of 10, you want 11s and 12s. There are times when it makes a lot of sense, and that I sometimes when I don't do this, I end up hating myself. Is if you know that you're willing to take multiple fills in the stock and you like the level, get something at like the 10, at like the 20, get something at like 25, 10%, and then maybe take another 20% at like 10. You know that you'll have an average price. If you want an average price, get that average price where it's going to make sense to your risk to reward, but be careful with it. So I'm into Intel off this support level here. You'll see it just came in at 51. This is 50.83. It's kind of a random number, but that's where the higher low got put in there on Intel. I missed a chance at a reload on Rivian because Rivian just rejected 23.75. I think I take one more shot, or at least a couple more shots at Rivian short, as long as it's under 24, but it has to set up. At Intel, that's the new position. It might be the first L of the day, trying to pick it up on the way back in, but the market is strong, and it is trying to hold. This has been a rally without the two strong chip names so far, and I mean, as a matter of fact, AMD is still breaking lower. What is NVIDIA doing? I'm just going to double check NVIDIA here because I'm trading Intel. Yeah, this is also weak. NVIDIA is pretty weak. Intel might not be the one today. It was great yesterday. It might not be as strong today. Still short Apple. And the other thing we got to be getting into at some point, it's just a matter of setting up a trade, is Mara. So Mara now dipping back in. That 29 level has been key. If it gets down there, bounces off VWAP again, I'll look for an entry point off the 29 level in Mara. SoFi kind of gets to that quarter and is pulling back, but we've taken most of it out, looking for that next step, which would be breaking that 1030. So 10 into that quarter, next step would be breaking 1030. If there's any small cappers out there, congratulations to anyone making money on them. I'm not really, I looked at FWBI, kind of scoffed at it when it already moved 100%. I don't want to be chasing anything like that when you got enough market movers here.
Yeah, exactly. We're right now. We'll look a little bit here at Starbucks. I mean,
Google?
It's going to be a new position right now for us. But again, like I'm still not overly convinced where the market direction is going to be here today. As I mean, we turned the bear to the bull. I didn't even realize it was bearish yesterday. But you know, we'll watch out here.
That was Randy Lester.
No, I think I might have turned it around too. We forgot to address them yesterday. That's all. Normally we talk to these guys at least once a day. So we turned them over to a bull. But we're going to go long Starbucks. I mean, it's a nice little dip in here. I was just trying to buy it because it was at the day's low, came back into some levels. I kind of wanted to use like 95.30 here. So again, like we talked about different styles, like I'm going to try to get in and out pretty quickly on this one. If we could scalp it up, 10 cents, and then if it continues to go, great for that one. Tesla's still hovering a little bit higher. And then honestly, guys, I'm getting pretty fed up. I've already said this a couple of times. I'm just going to put an offer there. We actually got a midpoint there on 13s. I'm going to get some more out here at 13. There we go, if we can. So a couple more outs here on Nio. Like, it's just, we've gotten it out. We've gotten some out up here. I just thought it would continue to go. So the fact that it's not problem time for Nio, we'll get out of the rest. So just so you guys know, we have about 20% left of Nio. I was being a little sort of cheeky with it, trying to hold it, like, you know, but it's just, it keeps on coming down. And honestly, with the movement we've had there today in Tesla, and then hopefully now in Starbucks, we'll be able to catch something on that. 9.55 for Palantir was a VWAP move. Wow, okay. So look at Palantir making this move down off VWAP again. Right there. So there's the break, and then there's the move down. So some of these names, and again, this is why you got to trade names that have something going on. You know, Palantir today, downside. We like Palantir. I was trading this a couple times yesterday, right? But there's the move back in, and this is the same level that we actually shorted yesterday, right into here, 1775. So we shorted that yesterday at the close, and we got a nice move in. It wasn't great. It only went down into the mid 60s, but there's the move back, and then look where we just bought into, right? Some of this support that just goes back to yesterday. So let's wait. I'm not going to dip by Palantir yet, but that is into some areas there on PLTR. And again, patience looks like it's going to pay with this name. So we'll wait to see if there's anything there. Yeah, the Starbucks trade, shout out to Y Brothers. Yeah, I'm thinking about this one as well, to be honest with you. I've been looking at Starbucks. We talked about that for a little bit here. It's had a nice move down. And I was just looking at it because I feel like we're going to be going long at some point. We talk about trying to buy some relative weakness in names that we like just because of the way the market's been moving, where everything is ripping. So I just looked at this, and then honestly, if you're going to look back right here, it just came up on the scanner that it was down near support. So there's the support right there. So I thought we'd buy it, see if we get a little bit of a rally to the upside. So it's not a great trade by any stretch of the imagination on Starbucks, but let's see if we can get a dime or so.
It was on that list of...
yeah, what names to buy on the bottoms. But right now, by the way, Tesla's $3 in the money.
We're gonna go to Dara, but we'd be remiss if we didn't at least point out one of the Mag 7 that is at the lows and dying. Not dying, but it's relatively weak. I mean, Google is about to crack. It's just, cracked underneath 141. It's 0.5% to the downside. Google, weak. Apple, weak. AMD, also weak to the downside. It's not all roses. There's been lots of good longs, but there are some shorts coming in here. Brendan? Adara is at the desk. I almost said Brendan. It's a habit.
Yeah, I have the cues up here. We are seeing a slight move to the upside, positive on the day over here. Not too much going on in terms of the market, but definitely something worth keeping an eye on as we try to continue this Santa Claus rally that we are supposedly in the midst of, that was supposed to begin on Fridays. Let's see if we can kind of continue to the upside here. Definitely a nice couple days of rallies here for the Qs. We'll see if we can keep this up. In terms of individual stocks moving, Microsoft's on watch. Earlier today in the morning, it was reported that OpenAI and Microsoft are being sued by the New York Times over a copyright breach. So stock not reacting too much, but definitely a story to keep an eye on. We also have BTBT, Bit Digital, pulling back a little bit here. This one was reaching new 52-week highs after announcing the doubling of the size of its Bitcoin mining operation fleet. So keep an eye on this one as well, along with all those other crypto names moving right now. Last but not least, Meta, almost 1% to the upside after Wedbush raised its price target for the stock from $350 to $420. Brought to you by SurgeTrader, where traders can get a funded trading account up to $1 million and keep up to 90% of the profits. The program has simple rules, no time limits. Just go to surgetrader.com/TTV and use promo code TTV for 10% off.
Right. How are you feeling over there, Adara, by the way?
Yeah.
Good. So. Yeah, you sound better. That's nice. Okay. So shout out to Adara for coming through again and doing all the work there. 263. Maybe it's time. Take $3 here on Tesla. So it's up to 263 right now. Again, it's not like 263 is some sort of a magical number or anything like that. So I don't know. Kind of just debating on what to do here on this name. So you know what? Debate over. Takes them out. Let's go. Ring the register. It's $3. What the hell are we doing? All right, so there it is right there. Take another piece out of that one. And thanks for calling me out, Y Brothers, because I just got out of Starbucks there. I guess that trade was not as hype as I thought it was right there. So we'll take the 6-cent hit or whatever it was there on Starbucks. We were long at, 38s, out at 30s on that break. Might be wrong. That's just a quick little hitter there. Like we said, have the ability to change up your style of trade. You know, like Starbucks to me is not a breakout. There's nothing there, and that's why I want to thank you for asking me about that trade. Doesn't look like it was very good. We did not give it much room. If it didn't want to work early, then I did want to evacuate stage left. You know, a name that we got out of recently was Snapchat also. Not got out of, got some out. This name's not really ripping anymore either. So 17 is going to be a level here on Snapchat. Not much volume. Wow, 1.2 million, probably a little under its average. But you could see 17, pretty stuck here for Snapchat. So this is going to be another name. Wow, Tesla's still going. This is going to be another name that's on our radar here. Is going to be Snapchat if and when it gets a catalyst through $17. I think that could be another great one. And then Nio gave us, I have too many offers out, so it makes it look like a short sell. So we just got something out as it popped into 17 there. So that's a little bit of a saving grace there on NIO because we were getting nervous as it was back basically down to flat for us. So take out a little piece on that one. As Nio, still a great trade, but not as great as I thought it would have been. So all good as we continue to go.
Yeah, it's definitely all good. One of the things about sometimes like the best trades tend to work right away. At least it's anecdotal, but it tends to be true. Like if something's really going to go, that's because where you got your entry point is a good one, and there's other buyers there if you're going long, there's other sellers if you're going short. But there's buyers above 29 at MAR. They're just buying it up heavily every 10 cents. So when it broke back above 29, I got 13s. I didn't get 29.01. I got 29.13s. It just made another test of the high of the day at 29.40. So 44 is the current high on Mara. If you do zoom out far enough, okay, 30 is the psychological level. I think we can all agree on that. And then the next top, it's like 32 and a half bucks. So it's another potentially double-digit move for this squeeze name. Let's call it a squeeze name in the crypto space. I want to somehow differentiate it from Coinbase, but I think that's the way to think about it. If we come back into VWAP, I might look for a reload on that. Apple continues to go to the downside. It's about to touch. Now, I'm getting out of Apple. I'm going to explain myself here. That move that happened in the pre-market, they gobbled the living you-know-what up out of it at 192. Exactly $192 right before the open, and it was right back up into the 90s. So I see that and say, if the market is strong, Apple is the kind of stock that people like to look to do dip buys. So I'm just going to take it when we get the chance. We got the opportunity to roll over on this one, and Rivian. This one was clean in that it never really made a break toward 193. It got about 10 cents away from it. Rivian was a different story. I got a fill at 23.50 and then the tight stop out. It's a little bit stronger, so we just jump out of that one. It's not that I don't like the short, it's just that one worked clean and the other one was a little bit messy, and it doesn't have to be messy. Sometimes just ring the register, stick to what is easier and what is working. I want to hold on to SoFi, I thought the bounce could be back at like 10.10 because it's 10 and then $10.10, but it's actually bouncing off VWAP here. So if this consolidates off VWAP, there might be a secondary long into 10.30 for me, but I do not want to throw away profits from this morning by chasing moves. The market is pulling back a little bit here, the NASDAQ is at least. Remember, the NASDAQ is already at all-time highs. It's trying to break them and challenge them. If you pull back in, you could always be back at 17.1, maybe overnight support at 17.80. Those could be a couple of levels to look for dip buys here on individual names. And I threw this in the chat only because I noticed it, not because I was overly geared on trading it, but AI has a pretty big level here at 30. You can see it's broken it like 5 times, pull right back in. Now it's higher lows looking to hold above the 30 level on C3AI. This had a $2 move randomly in the middle of the day yesterday and then came all the way back. Now it's trying to make a secondary push. If the battle wins at 30, I think a breakout of the high there gives you a 25 breakout long with a 30 stop. For C3AI, if you can risk 30 cents on the chance that it squeezes, I think that's usually a good setup.
All right, while Neil was talking there, we got into a couple new positions. We got into Snap. I just want to go short now. The market's coming back in. It's kind of just where we've been this whole, I'm still like, Coinbase went $7 in the money off that 180. So that's nuts. Ethereum up 4.7%, Bitcoin up 1% as well, as that's fading back through 43,000. But here's Snapchat. So I took it twice. I want more up here if we can get it. And again, I was just thinking, I talked about it for, you know, the reason was breaking above 17. It's just then the market started to come in and I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to get some sort of a short here just in case this kind of happens in the market. So we actually have two new positions. It's going to be, oh, and by the way, I have 5%, 5% or so, not 10, less than that, left of Tesla. So, I mean, if the market continues to do this, great, but we don't really care right now. And we do have another new position. It's going to be Palantir again. Sorry, Kathy. But we're going to go short on this one and see what happens. So, doubled up that short there on PLTR. Yeah, no, I'll talk to you later, man, Ant. I mean, it was nice seeing you over Christmas and everything, but honestly. All right, so we'll wait for this. 17.58. That little bottom there is 55. Let's just put a little bit of a bid there. That's probably what you want to tell me. But I'm going to do that. And then the reason is that fearful a little bit that we start to get bought up here on Palantir because we've fallen into this area. I just want to see if the market loses, I mean, we could get back down into the 30s again on this name. So I think that would be well worth it. And again, I'm just trying to hold it against VWAP, which is 70 there, and then the 200, which is 75. So I feel like we've picked our poison now with this short, and I like it. Let's just see where it goes. So far, so good here on the shorts, as we just put two new positions on Palantir and Snapchat, and then just for everybody out there, NIO, I got out. I just said forget about it. Definitely not moving the same way that I was hoping it would. So Nio right now out of NIO and just going to wait for potentially another bounce down to $9. Like someone clocked.
You know what's weird about Nio?
Yeah.
Is yesterday it was strong.
Yeah.
Li Auto was weak. Today it's weak when Li Auto is strong. It's like there's like this weird inverse. The last 2 days, there's a weird inverse correlation here. But Li Auto's at resistance. I just got into a firm because it was at the 52 level. It might take out the top, risking about 20 cents on it. But Li Auto looks pretty juicy for a short as well up at this top. I don't really trade this stock very often, so I maybe want to see how it reacts up there. But I did want to get to a firm because that 52 top, that was the last resistance zone. This is where it huadunked on when everything, I guess last week, everything turned around on that Wednesday. But either way, it's starting to break out above that 52. This is probably just reversed into the long. If the longer it holds above this 52 resistance, then I probably look for some kind of a long here. I don't want to jump into it yet because my first gut take was go for the short off 52. When it showed me a little bit of weakness there, I went into the short, waited for a good price, but you're seeing some buying on a firm. If it doesn't work right away, then I do not want to hold on to it when it's counter trend. Like when Apple was coming up, it turned and it worked right away. That's not happening yet on a firm. I still have this Mara trade. See, if you just immediately reversed, you're laughing. But I want to be patient with a firm. I don't want to be buying those tops. I still have Mara looking for a bounce off VWAP here, but it's now consolidating higher. It might just be a break of the 50, and then the move into 30 could be 29.50 or something above there into the $30 level. Still 30 target for the rest of this on Mara. I think you can get there. Again, 9% is nuts. And because I was asked about looking at bets, like bets was a gimmicky trade off of 1 cent today. My first and very lazy thought was, well, if it breaks 2 cents, maybe I'll take that break. So I'm not doing anything with the stock. It's back. If it gets back to 1 cent, maybe there's a long off 1 cent. If it breaks 2 cents, I'd probably go for a cheeky breakout trade at 2, and I'm not doing anything else in the middle. So I'll stick to those levels on bets. It's already done 1.1 billion shares, so it's doing tremendous volume. Well, it doesn't. If this breaks the record, then I'm putting an asterisk next to that for the highest volume on the NASDAQ ever, because to me that shouldn't count when it's a 1 cent stock. Notional volume matters way more.
I was just trying to find another trade here because we're out of Nio, but I was looking at that Meta, that 256. Like that was such a great open run off of that level. So maybe a little bit of a fade in into 250. I'm already short, like I'm short, right? So we've already talked about that. I'd rather be net short than long. This Tesla trade, I don't want to ever give any money back, but unfortunately, if I think the market's going to go down, that's why we exited out of Tesla. And the VWAP right now is 261. So we're going to appreciate that. 261.50. So again, my stop, was 50 cents or so on Tesla. We took $3. So for that, we'll spin it. But right now we got to get out. So 261.47. We will hit our out key and we'll get out of 100% of it if it does go back down in through that level. So just view up, If it, hey, look, if it comes in and we have a small piece, but still you want to take some profit at any spot if you can. There's a whole bunches out at 261 for that 2-to-1, and then again 3-to-1, 5-to-1, so on and so forth as we make a move back up to the upside. Okay, Kathy, there we go. Nice little move back down to 55. And again, like we say, you know, take your trades, but I'm going to take this one short side. We have a decent position, but not as much as we had hoped. I was hoping for a little bit of a move. I mean, you see this little wick up there to 66 was, you know, I am sitting there trying to get some more short. So if it does come in, we'll try that as well. But those are the sort of what I'm thinking about right now on everything as well.
In Google right.
Thank you so much, Sharif. Wow, loaded it up. I like that. That's my son's favorite color is yellow.
Good, appreciate it.
Thank you, Sharif.
Thank you, Sharif. I just actually got one. Just before the open, I was able to grab one.
Thanks, John.
There is absolutely no chill on Google. Google is flushing. Obviously, holding on to Apple would have been good. We did have a couple of good shorts in there, and we've already taken profit on them, but it's Google. Google 140 is about to come into play. I think you short the first available pop. It's all red on the 15-minute. There hasn't been anything. I'm just holding the last two longs that I have. We've already taken profits on them. I'm not looking to add them until this futures maybe find a bottom at that 17. It's like 17.075 is the overnight lows. That could be a bounce zone. I think I short pops in Apple and Google the way that these things are going right now. You're getting a big flush, which makes me just want to look at that firm. A firm is now back underneath that 52. So that's where we like to short. Someone just went to 84s. I just went to 83s and didn't get the fill. Someone was at 84. I'm going to shave it down into 81. So I'm back into this one. Underneath 52 is a resistance zone that I like on a firm. But short the first available pop, if you even get one on Apple and Google. They're selling it off pretty heavy now.
Yeah, here comes the market to the downside. So, I mean, let's go instantly right there. Snapchat going to number 2 or number 3. So that's going to be a good one. We only have 5 trades on. So, 4 trades. Well, our mistake was Starbucks. You know, that's going to be the L that we have today. And the L that we have on Starbucks, I'm already up 3 times on Palantir than what we lost on Starbucks. So here it comes, nice little move back in for Palantir. And again, man, trade what you do best, I feel like, and we talk about that all the time. There it is. We'll punch out a little bit there. As you can see, it's swiped up. We'll punch out a little bit there at 49. That was sort of what just happened there. Whether or not it was sparked or not, I don't know. But there it is, a nice little move back up there through 49 as we take some more out. Snapchat really worked.
Someone just sold 50,0and on the offer, Tesla.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, well, that would make sense.
One shot hit on the offer.
It's starting to go down. Yeah. Wait a minute, that was me. No, we don't have that many shares left, of course. 50,000 shares would be a nice trade. But there it is right now. We are waiting for that 261. So we're going to wait for that 261.50. If it does break down there on TSLA, we are going to get out. Wow, man, I guess we should not have bought anything there on Palantir, as it seems like we just kind of hit that 49, and now it's just going up. But look at the futures, though, also making that move back up. On this move down, this reminds me of looking at a name that we knew we wanted to get long. Whoa, and look at that. That was Roblox. Went right back in. What are we bidding again, guys? 11s. Where does it go? 14s right there. So mistake on that by not getting longer down there on Roblox. Let's put a bid and see if we can get some damage on that name, because I really like Roblox, and we should have been buying down there. Damn it! At that 46.20 area. Let's just cancel our bid at 11s and put it again at 20. If the market really does fall down, then we're going to have a problem, right? But so far, so good here on Roblox. The bid's been holding up. So we like it, and I got to get out some more Snapchat here as it's moving around. And it was a really good out on Nio, but look at the level here at $9 if you're interested in that one, NIO.
I usually love those even dollar levels. Come on, there we go. On Nio, it's a double bottom, but I feel like this needs to be an an under-over. It's almost like it needs to break this level, trap people shorting, and then look for a bounce to the upside here. So it just broke 9s. There's some size there at like 98. So is it going to hold on? Is it going to hold on? Like what I'd look for is like an entry there at 1s. Oh, I just missed it. Okay, I'll just take 2s. And then that 98 level for an out. So sometimes you get, like if you're long at 9, you just got 9s, or if you went 01s, you're already in the trade. I want to see it trade under, trigger some stops, and then just go to the actual low. So the low of the day is now 98.5. So if it prints 98s, I just punch out. So I'm risking 3 cents. I just like that trade a little bit better, counter trend, because at least some people got stopped out there. And then if you relieve some pressure to the upside, you can get going. So if it gets to VWAP, generally speaking, that kind of a trade, I'm looking for VWAP. So we'll get half out to 10 and then the rest out to VWAP. A firm which we just got into the short of the second time, it failed. It failed the first time through. I had to chase. I was trying to get the same price in the 90s. I actually had to chase it to 81. You guys saw when I was saying there was a seller at 84. I joined it, got some out at VWAP. I want to look to add to this if it bounces off VWAP, but at a better price in 52s. The market is now beneath overnight support. That's the NASDAQ. So it's, I mean, very barely underneath overnight support, which was also the Huadunk. I don't know what we call this day. It was that 2 o'clock flush. The high that day was this 1708 on the NASDAQ. And then that turned into overnight support. If we can't break back above that, you could be trend down in some of these bigger cap tech names. So still looking for a pop to be able to short in Apple and Alphabet. If we don't break back above 1708, there's going to be some good shorting opportunities. That said, most of the power has been on some of these longs. But eventually, all good things come to an end. Even Mara, which is holding out this 29 level, if it doesn't break, if it doesn't hold 29, I'm just going to jump out of the trade. I'll reload it one time. We've already had one scalp trade in 29.13 to the 40s. We'll do it one more time if it can hold on. But sometimes you just got to be able to reverse. We've had a couple of good shorts on. We'll look to add a few here.
Where is Sean? I'm right here. What's up, Humble Ninja? Hi. Hey, it's me. I'm the anti-hero. Right, Adara? No, I'm not the anti-hero. I'm just here for everybody. Okay, so yeah, she's not loving the Taylor Swift reference over there. Okay, so
well, we know she doesn't like it.
Yeah. Like I said, haters gonna hate. No. Okay. All right, let's go. All right, so Snapchat Palantir again. We just got out some more Snapchat because it came into 80, so we took an 81 right there on that one. I'm not nervous about Tesla because we don't have too much on. I just wrote down a couple of ideas that I have for everybody here. All right, Alibaba at 76. The problem for me here is, and again, I'll talk about this all the time, I feel like, and that is that like right now I'm net short because I'm not net short, I'm only short. I mean, the Tesla long is not that important. $2.50 in the money, right? The thing is like, I'd rather get shorter if we can make a move back up to VWAP. I was saying this today. I mean, it's literally on the sticky note where I said I feel like although we still want to play the trend, it's still intact for the longs. I still want to be long. I just felt like today we could get some pushback, and that's why like I took that contrary thought about Nvidia short. We just didn't put it on. We talked about that Coinbase. We talked about looking at crypto and how good that trade could possibly have been, and it was. And then we talked about Tesla, and then we talked about Nio, which Nio is good, man. We made some money on Nio. Actually, Nio's going to be the number 2 name. It's just, I thought it could have gone a lot more than that, kind of like our Tesla. But look at the NASDAQ. What I'm getting at right now is that we're still near at the bottom that we've been at on this range from this morning, right? The pre-market with Europe and all that kind of stuff. So now we'll have to wait to see, although Europe was closed yesterday. I don't even know what's happening today. Upside here, basically 17.1. So until we can get back above there, I still feel like there's a lot of this futures hangover. So we want to stay net short everything. So that's why when I'm looking at a trade like Alibaba, to me it was a long off 76, giving it to there. 75.70, that's 30 cents. I think you can get 30 cents to the backside if it does wind up ripping. But again, I want to stay net short. So when you're trying to go net short, not a good idea there. And then I've actually canceled my Roblox idea.
The DAX is actually dead flat.
Yeah. So the market rate, so the DAX not doing anything. The ES I think is flat, and then Roblox. So I just want to play the short. Yeah, the ES is actually look. The ES and the NASDAQ, guys. I don't know if you can see that, both down exactly. There it is. There's the ES down 0.1, and here's the NASDAQ down 0.1 as well. So yeah, so far so good for the shorts. And let's just see. Yes, sir. Here we go, man. This is going to be quite a sweet one right there, and it's a good trade. Like again, knowing that Nio, once it broke, look where we got out of Nio, guys, 912 right there. So it's like we did not want to turn a winning trade, obviously, into a losing one as it's breaking lower. But it's really, that's not what I'm hitting. The bang is for Snapchat because Snapchat right now is flushing down, and you guys know that we have this trade. So again, another one here for you as we have one negative trade today. and it's a 6-cent hit on Starbucks, which I was called out on by somebody as why I even had it, and I had a hard time justifying it. So good on you there for doing that with me, and thank you so much for, again, all the support that we continue to get on the show. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, it's one of those, if you can't, it's like an investment. If you can't justify an investment, don't be in it. Like bets, what the heck do they do?
We didn't even,
I don't know.
I was going to say, I don't think we solved that problem.
Man, someone put that in the chat yesterday.
They put in what bets does?
There was an explanation in our chat yesterday that I read the paragraph and was like, I still don't understand what they did. And kudos, maybe it just went over my head. I know that they used to be a tea company and they put some yada yada crypto in there, and apparently there's something to do with the blockchain. I'll leave it at that. But the market is, oh, by the way, the DAX wasn't dead flat. It's actually 0.0 something to the upside. Just a bit of a correction there. I know I said it's flat. But Apple, I thought there'd be a bounce that we'd be able to play. There has not been in Apple. So I opened up with 2 shorts, and I have not gotten back into either one of them. Affirm is a new trade, but I do need to be into Apple on the trend, or at least getting back into it. It did not hold on to 192. I think I use that 192 support as resistance now on the way back to the upside. So I think 192 looks like a bit of a sell, at least for myself. Again, I'm holding on to SoFi because it has not broken the trend. Now, I didn't dip buy because the market was looking weak, but this is holding out that trend pretty nicely. It is past 10:20. That means we have to get to the desk. It's time for the small cap recap with Adara.
Some interesting ones moving today, including AI. So this is LIDR is the ticker for this one. They approved on Friday a 1 to 30 reverse stock split. They're supposed to be effective as of yesterday after close. This one, trying to get back to the upside here now. We also have First Wave Biopharma, FWBI. This one announced it entered a non-binding term sheet to sell one of its treatments for inflammatory bowel disease. So keep an eye on this name as well, up over 160%. Last but not least, Fusion Pharmaceuticals, FUSN over here, up almost 15% after Raymond James upgraded the stock to strong buy from outperform, raised the price target to $15. Keep an eye on these names, guys.
Yes, sir. Lots of small caps going to be in play today. And like the market, was there news on the market? I think we just rejected the tops. And it's just a guess. It doesn't really matter. That's what happened. But like the ES hadn't really broken the highs, the all-time highs with any, I guess, gusto. The NASDAQ did, and you get a little bit of a rejection. You had the big cap names not participating in the move. Google has been trading down the entire time. Like it wasn't like the rally wasn't being led by the Mag 7, and when they didn't bounce off support, it probably started to drag the market down with it, which eventually is going to happen. So I think you got to look for the weakness where it is. That's in Google and Apple. If it even tries to bounce, I am still all over. You rejected 30 on C3AI. When the market flushes, this is generally not a bad stock to look for shorts. The buyers did not win the battle, so there was no breakout of the high. I think I want to look for a reversal play if it gets back into VWAP to look for a rollover on that name. Affirm, I just want to try to reload it off to 52. If it breaks VWAP, I look for shorts underneath VWAP on Affirm. It was rocketing up with the rest of the market as well, but now reversing. AMD stair-step to the downside. I don't have any key levels outside of where it closed at 143.5. So until it decides and picks a direction off of that level, I will just be patient, sit back, and relax on AMD. I was favoring the long, and when it's not trending up, I don't have to try to buy the dip on a stock. I'd rather just sit it out. When you look for a long trade, just because you like it does not mean you have to take it. Market says otherwise, then you should back off.
Yeah, exactly. And did you discuss Nio? Yeah, okay. So that's okay. We're out of Nio. All right.
Yeah, it was like 1s to 98.
Yeah. It broke. And what are you going to do at $9?
That's the thing about a trade. Like my losing trades are never going to be complicated. I'll get in, tell you where my stop is. I don't move my stop. I don't average into it. Like it's just in here. Out was to the local bottom. I'm not holding it to 90. There is nothing exciting about that trade. And to me, that's how it should be. Like I don't want a losing trade to be complicated, because if it is, you're doing something wrong. And then it's just going to outpace like your gains. Like I should be able to lose on this 10 times or 5 times, something like that, to make up for one good trade. That's the way I like to approach trading in there. And just one shout out for the super chat. We appreciate you, Nick B, asking, did anyone here join Day Trade the World Campus? And I want to remind everybody, if you did sign up for it, starts on the 2nd. bright and early in the new year. Actually, I don't know exactly what time, but I'm assuming bright and early in the new year. So shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat there. I know a few viewers actually signed up for the campus program here at Day Trade the World.
Yeah. Lars mentioned to me that it was all full. So we stopped that last week. So it's completely full. I want to thank everybody for joining. I tried to tell you guys to hit the join now. And of course, it's only available to Canada right now. So, and it's completely full and it's absolutely rocking. And I want to thank everybody again for obviously, as Neil mentioned, supporting that. And I did see that super chat. So, all right. Yeah, Brad Proc, where are you located? I mean, there was so many applications and I don't know exactly. I feel like the biggest...
There was a limit.
Yeah, there was a limit. We talked about that apply now. That's what I was trying to tell everybody. Is that there time constraints is from talking with the guys running the campus is that's the big thing. You have to be able to commit that 8 hours or up to 16 hours a week as well. So I don't know, maybe that was one reason there, but okay, let's go. mRNA right now. Wow, $100. So this was a name that, again, talk about whatever you want, but we should have bought that name. We talked about it actually last week when it broke through this 50-period moving average right there on cancer-related news, which I thought was great. I mean, I remember even on the show, I was like, yay science, remember? So, because Obi is yay sports, and we were like, yay science on this play. So, it's a nice one, and congratulations anybody that took Moderna. You're now in the money like 20% or more off of that 80 break. If I don't know where you had it, maybe you got 84, 85, 86, but it just keeps on ticking, man, to the upside. That's Moderna, and it's a genius stock working right now. So, nice trade there for anybody that has it, like I just mentioned. So, yeah, congratulations. That's Moderna right now making a nice move back to the upside. All right, just a quick little update. Snapchat can basically, I don't want to say it can go anywhere because it doesn't need to go into the gates of hell because we are definitely up on this name. And it's been a good, this is going to be another one of those days where right now we're going to go pretty much unhinged today. It's 263 back up to the upside. There goes Tesla. That's $3 in the money. So we'll fire off a hot dog cannon for that one. That's going to be a great trade, obviously. And then we'll just watch out to see what else happens, man. Everything right now kicking. The thing is about it is we did not take, there's a few things we didn't take. We talked about Roblox that we liked. That's now, we could have had this last move down right there. So it's still hovering. I'm not in love with this trade. We don't have to take it, so we probably won't. That's Roblox. The other one, if you're looking for longs, would be Alibaba. Is there anything else you guys want us to cover? I should have taken this.
SMCI has been chatted.
SMCI, okay, we'll look at that one. Oh, XAU, so that's going to be the gold. We could definitely look at that. What's up to T-Money? You are in a lot of T-Money if you're trading gold right now, especially the long side. It's at all-time highs as well. Bitcoin at 42.9 right now, not to steal her thunder, but we're going to go over there with Adara and talk about crypto. And if she mentions Coinbase, then I'm getting out of this building. All right, what's up, Adara?
Interesting update here with regards to MicroStrategy. They bought an additional $615 million worth of Bitcoins. So now this has their holdings at almost 6 billion, 5.9 billion. Apparently the average price per Bitcoins for this most recent purchase was 42,110. So kind of interesting story here to keep an eye on with regards to MSTR. In terms of Bitcoin itself, definitely kind of doing this interesting consolidation from around December 5th to now. We are still moving just below, as Sean mentioned, 42.9, just below that 43,000 area as of right now, but up on the day, and we're seeing that with all of these crypto-related stocks heading to the high side today as well. In terms of the cryptocurrency names in general, Ethereum also definitely to the upside, about 4.25%. Solana notably down almost 5% right now, as is Avalanche, guys.
Yeah, and the market's still doing battle on this lower end of the range here. And I'll tell you why. It's for me, it's Apple and Google, at least the two that I'm watching here, dragging things down. The bounce that we just had, we had a 20-handle bounce on the NASDAQ. Google went 30 cents to the upside, and Apple here just went about 25 cents to the upside. So neither one of these can seem to get off the schneid. Some of the chip names are actually bouncing a little bit, but not these two. And if that's not going to happen, then forget about VWAP. Might just have to short in the consolidation to the bottom on Apple. It's the one that I started because it had the catalyst, but either one of these two has been perfectly fine. I'm going to look for a short at the top of this range. If we break the bottoms, we could see 191 today. on Apple. That makes some sense to me, the way this is going to the downside. There's room to 17,000 on the NASDAQ, so we want to take advantage of it. Still want to reload that Affirm if we're able to get it. And as far as SoFi goes, it's now giving you a bit of a heartbeat here, forming a bit of a wedge, holding VWAP. Now that the market's made a temporary bottom, I'd like to go for the VWAP reload on SoFi. The only trade we had was taking it when 10 broke, and that was based off what we saw yesterday's trade. This one was set up very easily by the action selling at 97 with a top at 10, so go long 10 with a stop underneath 97. Where the previous resistance was, that turns into my support. That's the easiest setup technically, support to resistance and vice versa.
All right. Hope everybody is, again, doing well. Shout out to Nimit, my friend. Shout out. Thank you so much for coming to Toronto and visiting us that day. And I'm still waiting. I think I gave one to Adara. I gave one to Sharif. There's one more left. The bottle opener right there. So thank you so much for that one. The Merlion coming through. Singapore is such a lovely, like when I was opening up offices for Day Trade the World, Singapore was probably my favorite place. So shout out to that, Nimit. Maybe one day I'll come visit and we can go and get some of that sweet seafood there in Singapore, as it's amazing. That's the best. I mean, that street seafood there is something else, man. So shout out to that. Okay, all right. Snapchat, again, I don't know, we just took some out at 77. Hopefully it comes back in. I'm just trying to be as patient as I can with a lot of these plays, to be completely honest with you. We've missed Coinbase at that 180. That was a breaker that we should have had. We don't have it. Went up to 186, 187, so that kind of sucks. But it's falling back down. I think we just want to stay net short everything. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for right now, is like that opportunity to go short on stuff. The banks, I feel like, have had a huge run up, but it's not like they're stopping, man. JP Morgan is up another quarter of a point and still making higher highs here as you continue to go. I mean, we're just touching 169.60, something like that, the high. Looks like we're going to touch that right now. And here we go. As I'm saying, making higher highs. You're breaking now through day's high as the market kind of going the other way right now. Is Alfred coming back today? He is. Yeah, okay. So shout out there, Sharif, just confirming that. So Alfred will be back in and around noon hour. So yesterday talking all about value trades. The reason why I bring that up, it's financials, baby. They're starting to make moves up. So if you did want, I don't know, what is there a topic today for him, or? Okay, so perfectly. I know there was a lot of talk on this yesterday on the chat. A lot of people interested in hearing Alfred's picks for 2024 as far as value names are concerned. So thank you for that one. Thanks to Sharif for bringing in some more talent and some more friends to discuss it, because that's the whole point of why we're doing the market recap show, the podcast and all that. It's just real traders talking real stuff. It's like, you know, you could see all these talking heads on CNBC and all this other crap. Most of them are talking up their own book, or they're just talking to get on TV. That's going to be completely different. I'm already on air 6 hours a day, so we don't need that. We're here for you guys. So, we'll try to give you our opinions and what we think is happening. And, we're not going to be right. We're not going to be wrong either all the time. But it's just real talk. And traders, stay late with us today. And we're going to have Andrew Raider Trader on. We had Brian Shannon on the day before. And then we'll probably have Tammy. We'll have Danielle Shea coming back, I believe, Jan 3. For the recap show. So that should be hype. And then, hey, man, we'll always call on Michael Noss and things like that. So really excited, man, for what this company and what this show is going to bring everybody in the year of 2024. Bigger and better as we grow. You're welcome, Vin.
Every single day, it's about getting bigger and better. Whether it's trading, whether it's life, whether it's a show. So we definitely appreciate that. It'd be good to have Danielle back, because I think options, that's another thing that we get a lot. There's a lot of questions and talk about options. So that's why Danielle is an expert in that area. That is her expertise. We trade equity markets. We trade equity. For anyone watching here, we're live trading equity only. Like, we're not trading. Sometimes you might see a futures trade, but no Forex. We will eventually get crypto on the system. It hasn't happened yet. Speaking of this market, it's pulling back in. Affirm just broke VWAP. That's a short that I have on here. There was no pop to get back into Apple. Sometimes when the market was looking good, we take out that short and it continues to go. But Unity Software is bleeding. Unity was one of the biggest runners yesterday. I don't want to say it was the biggest move, but it was one of the more spectacular. There has not been a green candle on the 15-minute for Unity, and it's getting right into key support at 41.35. If it makes even a smidgen of a bounce, I think the stairs are taking it to the downside, and generally speaking, you want to join when that happens. But Apple just broke the low of the day. should have got in here. Sometimes you're just not nearly aggressive enough. I'll slap the fail on myself. We had like 2 names short today. We did get them, and they did work, but you can always be better. That's what it's about. The self-reflection, other people you can always celebrate, but there's plenty of time to do that when there aren't opportunities out there. And that was a bit of a miss on the consolidation on Apple. You know it's weak, it's down 1%, and possibly headed for a 191 break in the next couple of seconds as the futures retest some of these lows. Thankfully, SoFi is holding on to the bid. Rivian's down 1.5%. That's flushing as well. It's just about shorting when we break those key support levels and finding relative weakness. I don't like much on dip buys for long that I can find. If SoFi can hold VWAP here, that's about it. And that's a big if.
Yeah. I mean, that's twice. Or is it twice or 3 times? It's only twice now that SoFi, that Tesla went $3 in the money. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a good name to be long. It's just, you know, at some point, well, I've already taken the profits. So if you're just looking at that, how much you let ride after taking some profits? Yeah, it's generally, what's up, Todd Carroll? I'm getting better at it. My MO is 10%, trying to hold a lot more. We actually did really good on Tesla. We actually held about 40% to take out these 2, which one was 262 and then one was 263. So, you know, again, I don't really do the whole like, 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio type of thing. I just try to play with the momentum and see where that goes, because often I've had 10-to-1. You know, I'm never going to hold a loser 10-to-1, right? And so I just kind of play it off, and then I never have enough shares when, you know, the stock is absolutely ripping.
You gotta be careful when we say
yeah, we can be careful with that. So that's Snapchat, Tesla, and that's what we're doing right now. Oh, you know, another name here, I was actually debating getting back into Nio, because we did have a little bit of a dip buy opportunity, I feel like anyways, in this name, and I just don't know if it's going to still be there. But watch out for 890 coming out right there, because you could see this is kind of where we got started yesterday. Obviously, that move down was 860. I mean, we can see that pretty clear as day where that's at, but I just worry about dipping into this level, and then what do I do if I have 1,000 shares or something like that, and it starts to dip even lower than that? Then do I use that as an out, and then the hit just becomes too much? So this is where I'm trying to figure out the risk to reward again on how many shares to possibly use down here. But 890 could be something here for Nio. I'd prefer to stay net short everything right now. So Snapchat's not really going, but still a nice trade. I mean, we have the high of the day on Snapchat, so that's going to be good. We're happy with that one. And then again, pretty much a good position on Palantir. We just got some more out down there, but again, things seem to be like really slowing down. You know what? I think you mentioned the chip names a couple times.
Actually bounced nicely.
Yeah, 144. So this is the name that's close to VWAP here. It just showed up on my screener. So this is a one that's close to VWAP that if you are thinking about short something, this could be the name. But again, it's up today. So I don't know. I'm just
relatively strong, actually.
I'm just happy right now. You know, we're up more today than we were yesterday. It's 10:40. I feel like we've had some great trades early, man. The sticky note was a real banger again today, and it's just, you know, really confident right now in some of the plays that we're giving and some of the decisions that we've been making. So when you're a confident trader, you are a better trader. So we're going to sit there, be confident in the decisions that we make and we give to you, because you know, we're getting into maybe a little bit of a slow period right now in the market. So down 0.5, under VWAP, under the 50 period. I still think I want to remain net short.
To me, it's about the right names. I can't find anything I love long. I was just looking for, if the market makes a bottom here and holds 17.8, above 17.08 on the NASDAQ, and gets that higher low, then Meta might be a name holding this 357 level. There's a battle waged here. Why do I have a line drawn at 357? That's why. So it's just basically last week's top on Meta, the 22nd, that was Friday, and then the same high in there yesterday. So it's holding above this, which previous resistance turning into support, I'm always going to be a fan of. I do believe, are we good? Okay, I'll wait for you to tell me there, Fabian. I know we're going to be going to Adara for Sector Watch in a couple of seconds once I get the go ahead, but we're good to go. So let's get to Sector Watch. Let's see what is moving beyond the names that we're watching.
Much like yesterday, we have a lot of sectors that are more or less flat on the day, including energy minerals, pretty much flat right now, health services, utilities not doing too much, finance as well, more or less flat. We do have a little bit of movement in health technology, including Eli Lilly, a bit to the upside right now. Retail trade a bit mixed, Costco to the downside, Walmart to the upside. Tesla very strong for consumer durables with regards to that Model Y update in coming out of China, that story right now. Also of interest, technology services. Meta a bit to the upside after this Wedbush price target increase to 420. Google and Adobe a bit to the downside here. Apple also still to the downside out of an otherwise pretty flat electronic technology sector with regards to this ongoing patent dispute and Apple's appeal with regards to the Apple Watch, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
you've been
you very
shorting
much,
Apple.
sir.
I think Apple short is the right.
It's just continuing to fall.
Oh crap.
It's just a trend to the downside on Apple. I have nothing, I still like Apple, the company, I like Apple, the stock. This is the 192 that it's breaking down, so it's been a short. I want to say it's been a short every single day, but we haven't shorted it literally every day, but close to it in the last week and a half. It's just a matter of rejoining, and if it is back at 192, great. If it has to be this 190, 150, I'm just going over my charts live here. I wanted to go off the 15-minute. If it has to be off 195, 190, 150, fine. I just want to give it a chance to give me the trade back off this 190, 175 where we missed it before. So I still favor the short trade here. I'm not saying it has to work. I'm just letting you know that this is what has been working to the downside. If you like Google as well, I think that's a good weak name. I do have a target on a firm here. We had to take the hit when a firm took the high of the day. Generally speaking, if you see me trade, if I'm shorting a strong name and it takes out the high, I don't mind making top wick. The goal is to get back in if that ends up being the top wick. I did have to chase it a bit, but I'm looking for the pre-market breakout top to be my out here on a firm as it comes back into the downside. And there was a chatter. The only reason I said you got to be careful with R&R, when I talk about risk to reward, just to be clear, I'm always the amount of risk from entry price to exit price is the risk, and the reward is the average out. So if you get half out for 50 cents, another half out for $1, you made 75 cents. That's, to me, that's what when I say risk to reward, that's what I'm looking at. Some traders will look at it in pieces, where it's like, okay, on this piece I'm risking risk to reward here, and then I'm risk to reward there. You can trade any way you want. Just want to be clear about the way that we're looking at things here. SoFi is not holding on to VWAP. It's just the buyers aren't really there. I have the last 10%. I'll give it to that $10 level. I want to be adding to this somewhere. If it shows strength, it just has to show strength first, and that just hasn't happened here on SoFi. As the market wants to give a little bit back today, but you know what? It's only 0.1% to the downside. We were up 0.6. If we go down 0.1, 0.2, you're still pretty good to the upside for this quote-unquote Santa Claus rally, which has 4 days left. 3.5.
Yeah, exactly, up until Friday there. Okay, sometimes it can extend into a couple days in January. We'll see if that can happen as well. So there it is, man. We will complete it. We'll ring the register and celebrate it because it's Tesla and it's now out. So there it is, man. Like I said, will be the biggest trade there. Tesla, nicely done. I feel like nice momentum early, now momentum fading late. But you know what? Your boy's in this one as well. Let's props it up for NVIDIA. Let's see now what NVIDIA wants to do. We're 30 cents in the money. We're on this short. 492.05 down to 80s right now. Sorry, 25 cents in the money. Let's see what happens now. So again, pretty big spread here on NVIDIA. We're under the 50 period. That's kind of what I'm using right now. I want to give this up to 493. We could lose on this one for sure. Again, but here we go. This is just another one of those trades that we're going to put on for you and try to go, perfect really here today to start. So it's 10:45. We're doing quite well, and hopefully this will continue with a downside push. I don't even have any bids right now. Let's just see how low. Holy shit. I mean, honestly, Sharif, this is just like, this is going to be $1 in 2 minutes right now. Let's just see. Maybe we just take it and then hold the rest. I mean, see what I just say? I'm not going to take this out down here, and then I do. So let's go. It is going to be 1-to-1 on this, and that was such a nice move. We can still wait for more. If this market's going to collapse, we're already short here. NVIDIA, 60 cents. Snapchat is not moving, and Palantir is not moving. So maybe we can have something here. So for Palantir, we're only have 10% left. And for Snapchat, we have a little bit more. Snapchat, we have about a third left, about 25% left on Snapchat. And see, NVIDIA goes down and then kind of right back up, now only 40 cents. But we'll wait to see what happens here with NVIDIA as it just kind of flushed into 491. That went down to 491.16 and then stopped. Like, this is the thing. Someone said 75% of or Kathy Wood said, someone in the chat said that Kathy Wood mentioned that 75% of the stock market are just algos and computer programs and things like that. So if that's coming from Kathy Wood, I mean, I've sat here and stared at this many times and would tend to agree, if not a little bit higher than that right now, because, you know, sitting here and trading with your hands, it's like we mentioned, we have one graduated trader behind us, and it's Wayne, and he's a really really tough to sit there and make money in any kind of a market. So that's why sometimes you're going to scalp it out, as Neil said, find out what works for you, and then just go with it. But definitely spend some time in sim mode, because it didn't get like this. That's why I'm putting out the sticky note as well, trying to get, this is the only reason, trying to give you guys a little bit of an insight into what I'm trading and looking at, so that we can all get much better as a group. What's up, Adara?
Risk on international here. This one is a penny stock, up over 200%, continuing to run. It's expected to announce its new generative AI platform and tech partner as of January 3rd of 2024. Yeah, this one continuing to move to the upside from 16 cents in the pre-market to 45 cents right now, guys.
I like that. I like the ticker. I'm a big fan of that one. ROI. Absolutely flying. This is a little bit more normal of a penny stock for me, because that bets is just different the way that it trades, because it's only 1 cent and it does such ridiculous volume. But this is a little bit crazier of a parabolic move. If it does, there's some pretty obvious levels when you look at stocks like this. It was just at $1 and failed, and then 50 cents is resistance. So if it gets to 50 and fails, generally speaking, I look for retracements off levels like that. If it holds a bit above 50, look for a next long, which looks to me like 65 to 70 is the next resistance zone. I am back in Apple. We do like this one to the south side. It's been a few days in a row to the south side, but the best shorts were up top. Now I'm looking for the consolidation bottom as the futures are trying to break the low of the day. I'm in the consolidation short there. I am going to take an exit on a firm. We have 10 minutes till we go to the midday, but that doesn't mean the day is over. It just means we shift into a different gear. I'll be out of a firm in about 20 cents, but I am also trailing it back above 51 here. Did have to stop out on a firm and then jump right back into the trade. Sometimes that happens and you miss the entry. Sometimes it happens and you get the entry back in. Was able to get back into this one. Anurag saying, is AMD looking strong? It's up. That's a positive. I would say it's strong relative to some of the other big cap tech names. That's the best way to put it, because you're underneath the pre-market levels, but you have made a good bounce here. It hasn't really broken the trend yet, but it's trying to battle VWAP. If it gets above 144.5 and holds a bit above that, then I think you're definitely looking at a strong name. And I'd want to be long it on some market bounces, if there are going to be market bounces at all. So the trail's in on a firm, got to take profit somewhere. It'll be just underneath the dollar, but it has more to do with the fact that that 51 had a battle there, either stretch back into pre-market lows or get back above the 51. All red candles since that wick at the top, with one exception, at VWAP. That's why we have VWAP out there. Sometimes you run into some buyers. That would have been a good re-entry, actually.
VWAP, yeah, I love that one. All right, so NVIDIA just won another 30 or 40 cents. We didn't take it. We're going to try to hold this one. Like I said, I still feel like I like this 493 level. But that might be a little bit, like VWAP is still not till 493.30. I was just trying to play it right here on a little bit of a level break. If it doesn't break, then maybe it comes back in and does this little bit of a move, because the last time we hit 493, we went down $2 basically straight, down to 491, right? Like instantly right there. And that happened at about 10.11. The futures there at 10.11 obviously had this huge move down. So coinciding with that, but look where the futures are now, still at the lows. And before we go over to Adair, just one more quick update. As we are right here, right now on Snapchat, I just took some more out. It's just not moving the way I hoped it would. And then Tesla might wind up being a bad out. So we'll wait to see what does happen with Tesla. But like I said, man, Tesla's, 7, 8 times my next best name. So, well, no, that's not true. 3 times, 4 times my next best name, which would be Nio, of course. And then we're trying to make that into Snapchat as well. And then NVIDIA could go too as well. All right, I'll look at some charts for you guys when you come back. What's up to Noah? NXU. Okay, I'll have a look. I don't know anything about it, but we do have to go over to Adara.
DXY touching or breaking below 5-month lows. We actually just broke below 101, so we are now at about 100.98 over here for the DXY. Very much to the downside, this big red candle for the day for the DXY. We did also get some economic data earlier today. Richmond Manufacturing Index coming in a bit lower than the estimate. So -11 versus -7, estimate -5 prior. Just some context to keep in mind here, but definitely very much weaker as we have had this enthusiasm over the last few weeks for potential rate cuts from the Fed coming up here for 2024. Also of note, here is the euro to the USD on the daily. The euro very much seeing a move up on the USD as the USD has had this weakness over the past couple days here, guys.
Thank you very much, sir. Derek just got the email from Brendo. We have confirmed we're going to have Mr. O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful on the show again tomorrow. It's been a few times he's been here, so we're happy to have him come through. But it's going to be wild to talk about the overall market outlook because like 2022 was, it wasn't the worst it could get, but it was a pretty challenging year for the markets. In 2023 was about as good as you can get. So everyone wants to know like what is in step for next year. We talked a little bit about some of the names we liked yesterday, mentioning what to dip buy. What am I looking to dip buy? Like some ARM. I like some things at the bottoms, like Procter at the bottom. I've been already buying some banks and Pfizer. I'm just going to get this out of the way because I have a really good feeling that Moderna was a better play than Pfizer at the bottom.
Oh, it's not.
But candidly, it's not. It isn't close. But I went long Pfizer. But what I like about Moderna is you're in a breakout above a major moving average. Like you've consolidated above the 50 period. That's what worked for me with Rivian. That's what worked in SoFi. That's what worked in AMD when it held major moving averages. So like those kinds of things work, and Moderna has done that. Whereas sometimes you go to try to pick a bottom on a weak stock, and like it's not that it's been bad because it has bounced off the lows, but you're not above the 50 period moving average. You're trying to now consolidate above the top and maybe break back above 30. So like it hasn't happened. Joining buying can be easier than trying to make it happen and pick a bottom. It just so happened that 26 was a pandemic low. That's the only reason I bought this stock instead. So we'll see what happens with that one. It hasn't really broken that trend to the downside just yet. Sometimes you want that trend break instead. Affirm, I still want this thing to maybe flush a little bit lower. If you're wondering why Affirm when it's strong, 52 level on the daily chart, that was the name of the game. And then one more for you before we go back to Mr. Katina. What I think happened on Alphabet, why it's so weak, could just be a technical fail at the top. It broke its October high yesterday, made the reversal, consolidated off the bottom, failed a break of that bottom, which is kind of like you fail a break on the daily, and then the next day you fail the lower high. And then the sellers start to come in taking profit on what has been a strong name. So this is another one I should be short off the consolidation. If Apple doesn't work down here, we had Apple up top, Apple down low might not work. I still think if you break the lows, those are the two names I want. So Apple, I always keep a tight stop when we're at the low of the day. You don't want to get trapped at the low. But I still view these as look for short to pop situations. If the consolidation bottom doesn't work, we'll look for the next leg in to said downside.
Thank you so much to Arsis FX talking about how viewers, be aware you are experiencing a masterclass free every day. Be aware of that. Thank you so much, Arsis, right there. It means a lot to do that. And again, it is something to be sitting here and actually putting on real risk and exposing like all the trades. But you guys see what's good, and more things happening in the new year as we'll be able to show all of our positions throughout the day and trying to work on some sort of something that will help you guys see a little bit more into, you know, what stocks maybe were profitable, what stocks were not, and so on and so forth, because a lot of the time we do trade a lot of names. So I do want to thank you for that and for watching. And then, of course, our positions, of course, are right there at the bottom. So, so far, so good here as we continue to go. I'm just in NVIDIA. I said I'd look at NXU, so shout out to that. So we're, you know, going to be a man of our word here and look at that. Again, like this daily chart, this has just been another name that just been reverse split. It's a disaster. It's a EV charging station there. Unfortunately, here on Trade Ideas, all that I'm showing here is that it has a decent float, but again, that's because it just went this way back up to that way. So I don't know what it was before, but if you had like 1 million shares, then you reverse split, right? So now you got to have less than that. So I don't think it's necessarily a float problem. Again, today's range obviously up huge. We're going to wait to see what it does. It has a little bit of revenue there, 117,000. You asked, is it going to be the next Mullen? If by that you mean the next dumpster fire, I mean, I think it's already a dumpster fire. So yeah. You know, I sold HUD 8 when it did this. That seemed a bit of a mistake. When it reverse split, it went up and then back down and continued to go up after that. You know, this is the data that I have. You're well underneath everything. You reverse split for a reason, so you avoid delisting. Yeah, I got it. And other than that, you know, I'm not a fan of NXU. I think it could be a great trade. And those of you that are trading this, look at this, multiple halts, right? Boom, 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 all over the place. So lots of opportunity to trade this name. I just, you know, I think you just wait for a halt and see the action, possibly a breakthrough $4. Thanks for asking the question. It's NXU.
Yeah, I mean, those are kind of wild. You got to be careful with them. Jose just said, what about Pollo Loco? Is that like, oh, wait a minute, is that an actual symbol? I thought you were making... Oh, Pollo Loco is an actual stock. I thought you were talking about the Breaking Bad reference there.
Yes.
Which apparently is some good chicken. But the problem with the name like this, and again, we're day trading. This stock has done 49,000 shares. I can tell you with certainty, well, with 99.9% certainty, that we probably can't even execute on this stock because the volume's so low. At Day Trade the World, they will block symbols with no liquidity for good reason. Like there's no trade in a stock like Loco. But MLGO, which was also mentioned in the small cap in the chat, this has my attention, and thank you for pointing it out because the dollar level can be good. How clean is the stock that topped out at $2 almost exactly yesterday, held $1 right at the close, and then look at the liquidity grab when it failed $1, couldn't break 0.5, back under $1. I think I want to look for a consolidation sideways or a pop into VWAP to fade this. Although I am pretty sure I'll have to go pay for some locates on this. If it costs like 10 cents a share to short this, it's an 86 cent stock. Obviously, you don't pay that. But if it's 1 cent or less, then it can be worth it. So Day Trade the World, if it's not easy to borrow, which is 99% of symbols, we can go in and put a request to pay the broker for shortable shares that we can use for the entire day. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on MLGO and look for a VWAP retracement. With 40 seconds to go, you're not going anywhere. You're jumping on over to the Learn to Trade with special guests. It's as usual. We're going to have Adara, and of course we're going to have Sharif, but we have special guest Alfred for second day in a row talking about what he thinks are good value plays.
Adara's been absolutely fantastic today, but here's what everyone's waiting for. Let's go. It's what's for lunch right now. So it should be a good one. Yesterday we had some salad, of course. We'll have a salad today as well. But yesterday was not a chicken dinner winner for me because I went out and got my own damn lunch. So I had some tuna on that. Tuna with some feta sprinkled on a nice little salad. So generally speaking, it's chicken dinner winner time, right? Is it going to be chicken today? Well, if you said yes, then you are right. Today we've got a good one, I think. I think this one will be a good one. Grilled chicken tikka with madras peas, vegetable samosa, and rice pilaf.
Yes, I'm stealing a samosa.
So I think that is a...
Oh my God.
And once again, a chicken dinner winner for everybody there today. So I hope everyone again enjoyed everything there. And y'all fancy, we're really super fly.
It's not that fancy.
And super fancy. Here, you're going long on the chicken. Okay, Dan McIsaac. I think that's a good move today with the grilled chicken tikka. I think that's going to be...
Our caterer does the samosas pretty well.
Super tasty.
They should be good.
Yeah, Costco, you mean, does them really, really well. I don't think he's making them by hand.
Of course they're not. No, it's a lot of the stuff does come from Costco.
Yeah,
but
Costco, I got to buy that stock.
Costco has good bulk stuff. Like their beef
yeah.
patties are actually not. Like they're not trash. They're pretty good. Sometimes when you get the packaged ones, they're not as good as homemade. Nothing's as good as homemade.
Nope.
But you know where we're going
Except for
here.
cranberry sauce.
It's past 11. You're right about that. Cranberry sauce needs to come out of a can. Straight up. Straight up. 100%.
Stupid Brendan.
But let's get on over. We've got Learn to Trade the midday. Brendan likes it when it's homemade, and everyone else likes it out of the can.
I like it when it's homemade too, but the guy was a fraud on the podcast. Go watch it.
Let's get to the midday.
No, he thought that
I gotta go back and look at
homemade
that. I
would
have no
win.
idea.
Yeah, I
Well,
watched,
that's
like,
interesting.
Plus, I'm just.
I think I missed this part of the podcast. I watched about the first half, so I need to go back and rewatch everything, see what I missed there.
All right.